Give us a big clap and we'll start again. Oh! Nochmal. Yeah.
Just for the listeners who are listening in English, Jack said nochmal, which is German, which means one more time,
Do
baby.
it again.
Do it again for me.
Nochmal.
And for those of you who've come for clapping ASMR, well,
This is how you do it.
This is how you do it. I hope you still have eardrums by the end of it, because I know I do not.
Yes. All right,
Let's think I feel.
Should we start the pod?
Let's start the pod.
Let's start the pod. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nimblejacks podcast. I am Jack. This is Jack. This is Tom, our guest.
Good evening.
Just so everyone knows that this is the first. This
Sorry,
is number
Jack.
one, isn't it?
Jack, I've just ruined it. I just said good evening.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. I'm
This
so
is
sorry.
timeless.
I'm so sorry. Right.
I tell you what. Let's rewind.
Let's rewind. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Just start off, just give
Good
a little-
morning. Good morning, ladies and gents.
Doesn't need to be more, it's just hello.
Yeah.
I think we should keep the good afternoon.
the good evening.
Yeah, or good evening. Yeah, we'll just keep this in.
No.
day.
Wait,
G'day.
Come on. Otherwise, we're just editing it for like a millennium.
yeah, but I've gone the whole hog of doing all this stuff now. Just right. I promise. Start again. I'll say something that's not time related.
All right. Let's start again.
I'll try.
We will clap. Nochmal. 3.
ASMR.
Oh, that was shit. One more time. Again. Right.
Grand.
That's a good one.
So good it made my eyes close.
Yes. You felt the vibrations on that one, didn't you?
I did.
Oh, yeah, baby. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nimblejacks podcast. I am your host for today, Jack. Our other host is also down on the sofa. I don't know if you can see his little head waving.
I think I'm maybe in this one over
actually,
here.
it's not a little head. It's a big Irish head.
Big
if you can see that.
Irish head on
There's
it.
the potato sitting in the corner.
Potato.
But he's very comfortable down there. We keep him
am.
down there. We keep him in his...
In the way. In his box. It's not a sofa. It is a box.
away.
It is a box. It's a yellow box.
That's an Englishman talking about an Irishman, I suppose. But
Yeah.
no, Jack's lovely. He's actually our producer, aren't you, Jack?
And I am recording this. though.
Yes, you are. Yeah, you've done this 3 times. But now we're recording.
We're recording, yeah.
So I am Jack. This is Jack, and we have our guest today, who is a philosopher, an academic, and also, how would I say, a spiritualist?
A spiritual person, I guess.
Spiritual
but
person.
All in training. All in training.
So
That's
he's
it.
very much like us. We are, how can I say...
Making it up as we go
Yes,
along.
exactly.
We're doing our best. We're learning as we go along.
Yeah,
Exactly.
kind of, yeah.
We make mistakes, but
I think
Yeah.
that's part of it.
I think we can admit that we know nothing.
Yeah. And me too. That's
Yeah.
life,
We-
right?
We know very little, and therefore we wish and we pray and we ask
Mhm.
to have people on who know more than us
Exactly.
in many, many different regards. And Tom is one of these people. So I'll actually let Tom introduce himself. You can say your full name if you want to.
Yeah, so my
So you
name's
don't
Thomas.
get the hate
Yeah.
mails.
The hate mails. My P.O. box is... That's classified information. Find out next time. Okay.
Yeah.
So my name's Tom, or Thomas. Last name is Halstead. Okay. And yeah, I'm 24, live here in Vienna. I'm an English teacher, and I work at a private institute.
At a private institute.
And private
I
institute.
was told to say that.
Yes, yes. No hate mail to my PO box. But anyway, that's what I do at this moment in time. And yes, I like to ask the big questions about things. And but yeah, I like to learn as much as I possibly can through interactions.
That's
so
true.
hopefully, I can offer something today. But if not, I can learn something.
Well, we have been talking for about nearly 3 hours
Yeah.
before this cast.
Yeah.
We are very... I don't know, I think we have a groove now. There are topics that we'd like to talk about.
Mm.
There are things that we want to touch on. But I don't know. Shall we tell them the story about how we met? And the funny thing is,
Yeah.
we're from the same county in
Yeah.
England. And
Yeah.
we never met in England. We
No.
met here in Austria, didn't we?
And the thing is, you went to university in my hometown.
Yes, I went to the university where Tom actually lives.
So
And I never saw him.
yeah, right. It's crazy. So for the background information, we met on an English speaking summer camp teaching children, in July
Yes.
and stuff.
Teaching children.
Teaching children, yes. It was
English.
more like organised chaos. English, yeah.
Well,
Most
we
of
teach
the
them
time.
English, by the way. Yeah.
Most of the
Just-
time.
we don't teach them anything else. Just English. We just speak to them.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think we speak to them. We speak at them.
At them.
I think most of it goes over the top of their heads, but they're happy to be there, and so were we.
No, it was a good experience. We didn't meet at the summer camp.
No.
I met you at a party.
It was.
I met you at a party, and
yeah.
the guy was like, "Oh, this guy's English Tom." I'm like, "Where are you from?" He's
Yeah.
like, "Yorkshire." I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, you're not."
Yeah.
Which town?
Yeah.
He was like, "Huddersfield." I was like,
Yeah.
Which house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
exactly.
it's kind of like, you know, when you,
14 which street?
it's just like it's one of those really bizarre meetings where you meet someone, and I think you are somehow meant to meet this person.
Yeah.
I've said that several times. I think you are one of the people I'm meant to meet. I think you're the same as well.
Mm.
No, it's very good.
Jack, you're the same. I'm
Yeah.
somehow I'm meant to have met you.
Yeah.
I feel the same, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. I thought it was funniest when we did this. We like sports. This sports day for this kids' school.
Yeah, we did a
And
sports
you
day,
two were with each
Yeah.
other, and like the
Oh,
idea that
yeah.
you two never met each other before was like, or like you knew each other before that day, but that you never met each other at home in England was like mad to me because you were like it was like you were like two, like you were neighbours growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
you know, like the way you act and the way you had fun with each other was
Yeah.
like that.
The intertwining of souls.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. I like it.
Yeah,
And we come from 30 minutes away from each other, essentially. 30 minutes away from each other.
that's mad.
Yeah.
That's mad.
I think that's mad every time I think about it. It's mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we're 2,000 miles away. And still
30
minutes
away from
Yeah.
each other. Yeah.
Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
speaking about intertwining souls,
Mm.
let's touch on that topic.
Right, let's go for it.
Would you like to tell the audience about your philosophy first?
Yeah.
And then we'll
of
touch on
course.
different topics. I think
Yeah.
that gives you the basis to talk about what you want to talk about on this platform too.
Yeah.
So you have a list of all it's like your philosophy now of
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And how you move. And
Yeah.
some of it is very, what's the word? We did it yesterday. Stoic.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
about stoicism,
Definitely.
Jack, yeah. So it talks
Yeah.
about stoicism.
Mm.
Well, you talked a lot about stoicism yesterday.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to break it down like piece by piece. If you go
Yeah.
from step 1 to step 2, then to step 3, and then I don't know how many steps you've got, Tom.
Certainly, I'll pull up my notes and stuff. Right.
I've got my notes here too if you want it from my phone.
Excellent. Excellent. Sounds good. So, I mean, in essence, my philosophy is based on self-reflection. It's very deeply self-reflective, and it's something that I've had for, I think, since being a child, really, before I discovered things like Stoicism or Taoism and these kind of philosophies, or even parts of Buddhism as well. I've always been a very self-reflective person, and each encounter that I have, I always kind of ask myself, you know, the importance of this thing, this situation, this scenario, how I can understand it, and how I can be a better person, what I can learn from the situations that I'm in.
Is that environmental or is that inherent?
I think for me it's a bit of both. I think it's within me, definitely. I think I like to really think deeply about these things, but of course it's the environment in which these scenarios and situations come about, of course.
I mean, just for example, is it from your parents?
I would say, I think definitely...
Like influence on top of that.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I've grown up with very open-minded parents with these kind of topics. But, you know, my philosophy still is, although, for example, me and my dad share a lot of similar beliefs and things, is my philosophy tends to be, you know, a lot more, I would say from what I see, a lot more self-reflective and trying to build myself into a better person by analysing my own behaviour and things like this.
To like become the best human you can.
Exactly.
Or the best man, I would
exactly.
say.
Being the best version of myself as possible. That's it. Yeah.
How do you get to that?
I think for me is I mean, one thing that's really important for me is the importance of finding a place of peace. So having the time at the end of the day, for example, in a peaceful environment where there's just you, in a room or a space that you feel comfortable with and that there are no distractions, it's being able to sit down and kind of think through and process what's gone on in the day, basically.
So you meditate, yeah?
Meditation's a part of it, yeah. Yeah,
Would
that's
you
a part
journal?
of it. Say again, Jack?
Would you journal?
Yes, so journaling's a new thing for me, definitely after learning more about stoicism in probably about the last 6 to 8 months or so. I've definitely started writing a little journal down.
Yeah, like Seneca, Marcus Aurelius. they all
Exactly,
kept-
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
kept massive.
You have the
Yeah.
book. You showed me the book yesterday.
Yeah, meditations. Yeah,
brought up
I read it.
Marcus
Too,
Aurelius,
I've read it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I sometimes just open it.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
exactly.
could just take something and then you go on the rest of your day and you take it. You can.
Yeah. Take that philosophy with you on the go. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a good, it's
On-the-go
on the go philosophy.
That's what
I need to
meditation.
be philosophizing.
That's what meditations is.
Yeah.
Like what was the one I read recently? The quality of your thoughts depends on the quality of your life
Yeah.
or the happiness of your life.
The
Yeah.
quality of your thoughts depends upon the quality of your life.
The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts.
The
Yeah.
happiness of your life depends. So think happy, be happy.
Essentially.
Essentially, but also don't let things get you down. If there's outside sources,
Yeah.
you can't do anything about them.
Yeah.
So you may as well see them the best.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
It's about that
interesting.
acceptance, isn't it? Of it's. I mean, Taoism shares a similar kind of set of principles with this. It's about letting nature happen, and it's kind of knowing that you can't take control of these external situations. That you have to kind of the only thing that you can control is yourself and your reactions towards these things.
When you say nature,
Yeah.
are you on about the principle of allowing the natural to happen?
I think
Or
so.
are you on about
essentially.
like nature itself, where the outside forest and the trees and the wood and the sea?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, realistically, both. But I suppose in nature, in terms of life and the situations we're put in, so the things that go on in our lives, around our lives, etc., doesn't affect us throughout the day,
Even like
day-to-day
the
stuff.
nature to the DNA,
I guess so.
to
Yeah,
the very molecule.
I
To
suppose.
the
Yeah,
universe,
Yeah.
maybe as well.
to the
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah, like the whole
Yeah.
kinda,
The
Yeah.
cosmos, yeah.
yeah.
Cosmos. Yeah, I mean things that we don't necessarily have the control over, and it's about learning to accept these things and making sure that we control our emotions and ourselves in each situation. So remembering to be balanced with the things that we're put in, and I'd say that. Yeah.
I think balance is something that you write a lot, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
We also had just for the people at home, we had a big conversation yesterday about
Mm.
the imitation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the Bible, it does say that you have to imitate Christ.
Yeah.
It's one of the principles. If you imitate, it's
Yeah.
like the imitation of Christ. But
Mm.
What's
it's
that
like,
famous line from Christians or Catholics? Like, what would Jesus do?
Yeah,
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 it's
kinda-
yeah.
like, what
I
would
never
you-
heard about that myself, but
Yeah.
But if you were to imitate him
Mm.
to the degree where you then, we talked about it yesterday, didn't it?
We
But to
did.
the degree where you then no longer are yourself, you are him.
is that what you're striving for?
I don't know. That's the question.
I
It's
wouldn't
like-
feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, it's like
Mm.
you would then essentially be possessed by Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, this is my take on it, and don't get me wrong, I have a deep respect for Christianity as a faith, but my take on Jesus is that his message was, or from what I understand, is not to be me, but to be yourself, following similar qualities and similar principles. So being the best version, or like reaching this Christ level of consciousness, but you being you, as opposed to worshipping someone who we see as Almighty, for example.
Yeah, you will.
So,
You talked
yeah.
about the Christ consciousness a lot
Yeah.
yesterday and last time we spoke as well.
Mm.
And I think I brought it up yesterday about, well, they didn't worship him as God. They worshipped him
Yeah,
as the Son of
as
God.
the Son.
not-
Yeah.
And he's not necessarily, I don't know if he is, is he worshipped?
I think some people do. I mean,
Do you think you worship Jesus?
you know?
Or do you think
Mm.
you call, I think it's the calling of Jesus, no?
Yeah.
Because you can even
Mm.
call on Jesus to help you in life. And people normally say Jesus Christ when they
Yeah.
even stamp their toe or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mild expletives.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
but is he
I-
worshipped or is it a calling? Or I
I
don't
think
know.
I think they're worshiping
Yeah.
God. Like,
Yeah.
I think so
Yeah.
too. And then
Yeah, yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
would be the second. He would be the.
but
the
Jesus
second,
is the
yeah.
embodiment of Christ.
Yeah. That's
You're-
it.
Are you a Catholic? Just
I'm
because you're
raised
Irish?
a Catholic,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
raised.
yeah,
well,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
Irish, so it's like. I have to ask
Yeah, of
him.
course, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Irish, so I was raised Catholic. I was baptized Christian.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole shebang.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
That means you'll go to. Well, actually, you'll be judged more than me
For what?
at the end of your life.
Oh. Well then,
According to, I mean, I very much like the idea of a judgment at the end. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I just do. It's
but
like-
you're not religious.
I am.
Okay.
In a sense, I think I'm more religious than I am spiritual.
Yeah, but it gives you this kind of this motivation to be a better person.
It does.
If you believe that you're judged, it makes you want to be a good person.
Well, you think
right?
about all the bad things that you do throughout the day, and you're just like,
Mm.
well, I can see myself doing it, but now I see that there's somebody else who can see me do it.
Yeah.
And even though I will be forgiven,
I heard this one thing recently, and it made me feel confident in myself too, because I wanted
was it Marcus Aurelius? Did you just
No, it's not. No, I read I don't know if you guys know David Goggins.
I've heard the name.
Yeah,
but
he's
I'm
an
not sure.
ultra.
Oh, he's the runner guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ultra
yeah.
marathon,
Oh,
Navy SEAL.
Right.
He
a
said
beast.
he's not like religious either, but he said if he goes to St. Peter's Gate and they have a big list saying David Goggins, what he should have done in his life, and then they'll be like, okay, he was supposed to do this, supposed to do that, supposed to do this, and he wants to be able to go up there, and they go, he's supposed to do this, done, 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 and then also he did all this badass shit too.
Right.
That's the way he kind of like.
He like sees it.
So like for you saying you would like to be judged, so that that means you actually perform better maybe throughout your life. That was the same message he had, I think.
It's
And,
the shame principle. We talked about this yesterday too. It's like
Yeah.
we're told not to shame people anymore,
Yeah.
which is
Right.
a bit of a hot topic. But it's like
Yeah, it's
I
hot.
would feel shame if I did something bad.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Definitely.
I would feel shame. I would feel shame for myself. I would feel shame if it's like something on the family. I would feel shame. If it's bigger than that, you go to an exhibition, you will feel shame.
But there is a lot of cases where you feel shame where it's not really valid. Like someone will shame you for something, and you're like.
Example. What's an example?
I don't know.
Don't say being fat. 'cause
No,
that
I'm
doesn't
not.
count.
No, but something that like. If you're, of a different sexual orientation, you shouldn't feel shame for being gay. Or different race or something like that,
Yeah,
and then someone's
yeah.
bullying you for that, then that's not nice. But what are you saying that you should shame people for?
No, it's like I don't shame other people. I shame myself.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I do that too. I do that a lot.
I think that would be the tiny little angel on your shoulder.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
there's the devil
The
as
devil
well, the little
on the
devil
other
one.
one.
And I don't know. I don't I don't go out my way to shame people.
Okay.
I'm not the judge, Jack.
But I
It's
think
like
that's why people say-
God is the judge. He's the one shaming me. Well, it's like I'm shaming myself, and even though these people will forgive me, it's like Jesus is the
Yeah.
one who will forgive.
Yeah.
He takes on the sin.
That's the
He's
idea
taken
of-
on all the sin of everyone
Yeah.
that will ever live, that will ever be.
That's the idea of.
I mean, I even if it is a metaphor, and I can understand it intellectually, and I can also understand it very internally,
Yeah.
like the love, what we talked about yesterday, was more because we were talking about angels too,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
and then this intense feeling that you get, it's pure adoration, it's love, yeah.
Yeah.
So no matter what you do,
Oh,
it's awe, yeah. Well, it's awe-inspiring.
Yeah,
as well.
definitely.
It's like an awe construct, but it's the feeling of love. I don't know how to.
It's an overwhelming feeling of love that reduces you to tears. Essentially, it's unlike, it's unrivaled. Really, it's
Yeah.
unrivaled, is what I would say. But yeah.
It is unright. I think so too. I don't think there is
a human force that can come close to perhaps emanating that. But
you can't even take drugs to get
yeah.
it.
No.
It's that kind of feeling. You
Yeah.
can't even take drugs to get it. And it's also something that is. It's not even addictive.
No.
And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You don't feel bad for it not happening.
That's it.
It's one of those things. Yeah, I don't know. For example, I went to church. I've been 3 times, Jack. It's the first time I've ever been to a church, and I prayed. The first time was I couldn't stop crying. I felt the over sensation of love. The second time was the same.
Yeah.
The third time was a bit different though, and I went, and it was more. I didn't get used to it.
Yeah.
It was just more that I had more confidence in myself. It felt like I was more healed.
That's interesting.
You know,
that's interesting.
yeah, it felt like I was healed more.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to go through such a traumatic process.
Yeah.
But it still came.
Right.
But I didn't mind that it didn't come. And I was a bit grumpy that day as well. So it was like, you apologise for being a grump. And
Yeah.
then it comes.
Yeah, everybody has different reasons
Yeah.
for doing these things.
Yeah, well, my dad passed away, didn't he? So that's why I went.
Yeah.
And it's
You're looking for a connection.
Kinda, yeah. It's like I just hope that he's in a place where his peace is in peace.
I'm sure he is.
Peace.
Yeah.
And this, well, it's one of the reasons why I wanted you on as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Tom has an interesting background.
Yes, which we may or may not get
May or
into.
may not talk about.
Maybe for another podcast, maybe for another time.
Just one note. Can you move that mic a little bit closer to you? Yeah, to Tom. Can you move
Tom,
your
yeah.
microphone a little bit closer?
Is that better, Jack?
Yeah, it's a bit better. All right. Let's
Try that.
And speaking about the shame thing, it's like, again, I don't go out my way to shame people.
Only on Saturday evenings.
But
Come to Vienna.
Yeah, I'm outside shaming.
Look at you, what a state.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not even difficult to explain. I don't think people go through that process anymore. I think they are incredibly. There is more narcissism today.
Way
Yeah.
more narcissism.
More. So they don't.
Yeah.
they
Because
don't-
you're praised for it.
Yes,
Yeah,
you are.
exactly.
You're, you're
Everyone's a
praised for
winner.
doing something bad.
Yeah.
Everyone's a winner.
Everyone's a winner. There's no value in, for example, running a race. And, you know, at school, for example, it's a school sports day.
Yeah.
The kid who's fantastic at athletics should be a runner. You know,
Yeah.
he comes first and gets a gold medal, but then everyone else gets a gold medal for taking part. And it takes
Exactly.
away that value of
Him working
winning,
hard.
working hard, and
Yeah,
being
yeah.
either naturally good at that or working hard to get there.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
coming in second
Yeah.
place is good.
Yeah, exactly. Second and third,
It's
it gives
like,
you a position, you know?
They're good places.
Yeah.
They-
Yeah.
But then now it's participant. Do you actually?
That's
Is that
it.
actually a thing? Like in schools, do you go to? Is there participant medals?
Yes.
Yeah, yes,
I
there are,
shouldn't
there are.
really mention.
Yeah, no.
I actually play. I think I'm one of the only. I don't want to diss any. I think all the teachers who I work with are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all fantastic.
Mhm.
English teachers and German teachers.
Mhm.
I've seen. It's difficult as well to teach kids for like 6 hours
Oh, yeah.
constantly
Yeah,
with the screams
yeah.
and with the constant questions and all this kind of stuff. But it's like I was the only one who actually played competitive games
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
outside of sport
What in the schools? With
in the schools with
Yeah.
and you can
So
tell.
there was a clear winner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes with the little kids, it's difficult sometimes
Mm.
because they'll cry and you don't want to cry, but the whole team will cry, and then it's just a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's like, what do I do? Do I do this? Do I not do this? You can say they're all losers and
Yeah.
you're the winner, which is actually one of the better things. It's normally teacher against kids. That's
Yeah.
also very funny. I can also be the loser. I've lost many
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just for reference, I don't just go into schools and like
Shame people.
Shame people.
And then
Tell
Jack
the
goes
kids
in,
that
I'm the winner.
I'm the winner. Give me the melatonin in my brain. Well, that's one of the things that Jordan Peterson talks about with the lobsters.
Right.
And you give them antidepressants.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Heard
He
about
loves his
this.
lobsters.
He loves his
man.
lobsters,
He
doesn't he? Yeah.
fucking love
He
them.
loves his lobsters.
Because they're still what's the hierarchy, dominance hierarchy?
Yes.
Yeah.
They still have.
They still have a dominance hierarchy, yeah,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
just a
yeah.
very interesting thing where he talks about it very much in sport today with the trans going into the male and female categories, but
Yeah.
the males especially going into female, and they they win,
Yeah.
don't they? Essentially, they win the game,
Yeah.
and it's
Mhm.
cheating.
Yeah.
I would say that's cheating. But
I think a lot of people are with you on that. A lot of people aren't, but
yeah, well, it doesn't matter. I don't really. It's like you're open to your opinion.
That's it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it.
No problem.
Yeah.
I think it's.
But there's a discussion there to be had, and then there's
Mm.
also many other options that we can go for. you
Yes,
know?
Yeah.
it's a it's an open ball game.
It is.
It's open, Jack. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't put, especially in powerlifting. You've seen it
Or wrestling.
or wrestling.
Or wrestling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the wrestling was the big one.
Well,
with
the
Yeah.
powerlifting
the
was
Olympics,
the
right?
crazy one where there's
Yeah.
just a 320 kilogram dude who walks in. He knows he's a dude, but he says he's a woman just for the
Yeah.
sake of the event.
Mm.
And he
Well,
smashes
that's
it.
not fair. But like there
Well, he
is.
breaks the record.
Yeah.
And it's
that's
like,
not fair. No.
Okay, I
Yeah.
understand. Well, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made a point, and I think the point is valid. But I think that would be one of the things where you get the serotonin in your brain, or whatever he's talking about, Peterson. You get the serotonin in your brain because you win. But if everyone gets the serotonin in their brain because they win, and then there's no loser, it's like, where does it go from this point?
There's no drive to want to be better.
No.
There's no
That's it, yeah.
self-development
Yeah.
in there. That's the
And I
thing.
think that's why it has to be more of a personal journey now.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's
yeah.
no shame in losing.
No, there's a lesson in losing.
That's
yes,
it,
there is,
that's
and
it.
I think it's actually one of the best lessons you can learn to be a good loser.
Yeah,
Yep,
definitely.
absolutely.
But I have a
Because
friend-
there's adults out there who still can't.
can't
Yeah,
lose.
God, yeah.
They
Yeah.
can't. They just can't lose, and it's like you can be a
Yeah.
crap winner too.
Yeah, your God, yeah.
You can be a terrible winner.
Yeah, that's even worse sometimes.
That is, yeah, you
Gloating.
know, the
Gloating
Yeah,
and
yeah.
pride.
Yeah,
We talked about gloating yesterday.
I think we did.
Too, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All right, let's get back on topic.
Yeah, get back
Right.
on.
And
Yeah.
The topic was
You're
about
doing
the
it.
shame. That was one of the topics. But
Yeah,
if we talk about the soul,
the soul. Yeah,
Also, I just have one question before we move on as well.
Yeah.
We were talking about your routine about in the evening time. I do something very similar.
yeah, excellent.
I'll write, I'll journal
Yeah.
for 10-15 minutes, reflect on my day,
Brilliant.
ask myself. And on Sundays, I do like what went well this week,
Yeah,
what didn't, what can I
Yeah.
change.
do you do-
So for people at home who are maybe interested in starting a practice like that,
Yeah.
what would you say to them? Like, how much time would you spend? Or...
I think it's a great question. I think really it's as much as you need to feel to get a benefit from that kind of practice. For example, for me, some days it might only be 5 minutes. Other days it might be 30 seconds. It might just simply be writing a couple of sentences down just to kind of boost myself or whatever. But at the end of the week, I might have a big review, or in a difficult time, for example, I might take more time to write my thoughts down, or even just kind of, now this sounds quite crazy, but even just kind of speak aloud.
Yeah.
And it allows me to get these thoughts out without the use of paper and pen and stuff, and it allows me to contemplate these ideas in a verbal kind of
speak to yourself
format.
then?
Yeah, yeah.
But in physically speaking.
Physically, yeah, in a calm and collected voice, I do essentially debate a little bit out loud,
Yeah.
and ask, well, what could I have done in this situation? What did I do well?
That
What didn't I do well?
clears
etc.
brain fog.
Exactly,
so much.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
I have a question for both of you then.
Yeah.
Considering you both do this, I don't.
Mm,
Do you do dream journals too?
I don't.
No. I heard about that, and it's a good way to track your dreams. It's a good way
Yeah.
to remember your dreams.
Yeah, yeah.
But no,
Do you think dreams are important?
I think dreams reflect, our inner psychology. I think they reflect, these troubling issues that are on our minds. I think they can reflect that. Not always, but I think they can.
Can you be
within
given
these
a dream?
things? I personally think so. I think there might be some kind of.
Can you connect with his dream or my dream?
I don't think so. No, from
Oh
my
my
point
God.
of view,
So
I
it's
don't
not-
think.
it's-
that's a
not
SpongeBob
telepathic
episode, right?
Yeah.
I would just be curious
Yeah.
on that. But do you think somebody could give you a dream?
I think so because I won't say exactly what it is, but I know I've had a certain dream, and I know a lot of other people have had a very similar dream to me. So I think perhaps maybe some kind of higher entity, if you like, might be able to hand out dreams. Opens his trench coat and goes, "Well, would you like one of my finest dreams today?"
I always think of BFG when I think of
the
that. one, with
BFG,
his
yeah.
trumpet, and then he blows in the dream.
It was funny you said about like insecurities because my dream this morning was my alarm didn't go off and I was late.
Yeah.
I was late for here, and that was my dream last night.
That's interesting.
You know.
Yeah, they
Was
do
it
reflect
anxiety
that.
I
dream?
remember last night I texted you like, yeah, I'm excited, but I'm also nervous.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
said you were nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, like I get nervous before every shoot that
Yeah.
I do, you know. But it's interesting that you said that.
Yeah. No, I think definitely. I think especially in stressful times, is you do have these reflections of the inner psychology. But I do believe perhaps there's more to it than that. I believe there's the physical side, but perhaps something that touches on the metaphysical
Well, you can
side.
guide yourself in a dream.
Yeah, there's this concept of lucid dreaming.
Lucid
and
dreaming,
things.
indeed.
Yeah,
And you can
yeah.
also have the numbers in the dream too.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is, but I've also seen these people where they have some kind of contraption on their head, and they shoot lasers into their
exactly
eyes.
into their eyes. Yeah, and it
So
wakes them up essentially.
It wakes them in dream state. It's meant to
Exactly.
wake them up.
That's it.
I'm not very much interested in trying that myself.
Have you had a
No.
lucid dream though before?
No.
No, I'm never. No.
Where you can control the dream.
No.
Have you had a paralytic
No.
dream where
That's where your
No.
DMT in your brain goes like really.
Yeah.
There's a lot more DMT after hitting
Yeah.
you.
with lucid dreaming?
With lucid dreaming, but also one way to train yourself into lucid dreaming, I looked it up, is by doing a dream journal,
Yes.
by tracking it
Interesting.
more, because then you become more attached with your dreams,
Right.
and after a while you can actually start lucid dreaming.
I've had it before where I can't wake up.
Interesting, like sleep paralysis. They
That-
call it sleep
that's
paralysis,
it.
don't they? Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I've had a dream where I've been in a dream, and then I've gone into deeper in the dream.
Right.
which is terrifying. It's very scary.
Yeah.
I was scared while this was happening, but then
Interesting.
you try and wake yourself up. You wake up, but you're still in the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have to try and wake yourself up again.
Yes.
And then you do wake up. But I've also had it where you can physically wake the body up, but your eyes aren't opening.
Ah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, the sleep paralysis, isn't it?
It's
Yeah,
only happened
yeah.
like 2 or 3 times in my life.
Right, interesting.
And that was a bizarre experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
But have you lucid dreamed before?
I've tried to, but I haven't been successful. But with the meditations that I go on and things, the deep state meditations, I can achieve a very similar kind of state, I think. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Souls. Are souls intertwined?
That's a great question.
For example, I say I've meant to meet you. I feel
Stated.
like I've met
Yeah.
you before, and
Yeah.
it feels like I'm meant to meet you.
Yeah.
So are our souls somehow intertwined?
I would say so. Without going too much into it, again, it's a complex subject. I would say
Please
that
go into it.
I'll go into it a little bit. Is
Let's get into it.
for me is that we kind of have these soul groups, you know, and throughout our lives we kind of meet people who belong to these set soul groups, and when you
Parents too.
yeah, I think so. Yeah. It doesn't have to be parents. You may be born to some horrendous parents, for example. You may be born into parents that you don't connect with, or something like that, or family members, or friendship groups, and so on. But I think we do go out through we do go on through our lives, and we meet these people, don't we?
Soul parents.
We have this kind of connection, like you said. You know, I feel like I was meant to meet you, for example. And it's happened to me on several occasions as well. Is you kind of you look at this person and go, yeah, you know, I'm sure I know you, and you ask them, and you've never met before, and it feels like that you've met, perhaps, maybe that you've potentially lived another life. I don't know. Okay.
What is an old soul?
Oh, that's a good one.
Have you ever heard that phrase before?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
You're an
Yeah.
old soul in a young person's body.
Yeah.
Or just someone who's a
Yeah.
little bit wise beyond their years, kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Though? Do you think that is
What is that?
a
Yeah.
metaphysical thing?
I think, you know, with what I do believe, I'm going to say this now, I do believe in life after death. I do believe in reincarnation through my experiences and so on. You know, I've personally had enough personal experiences to give me conclusive evidence. But again, those are just my opinions, my experiences. I don't go out there and want to preach them and things, but I'm more than happy to talk about them. But
That's true. That's why I invited you on the podcast.
Yeah.
Just as a reference for the people at home.
Yeah.
Tom didn't want to do it, actually, and I had to pull his arm. I was like, please, come on, talk on the podcast. Talk to us, about stuff, about things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be the very first one.
Yeah,
Yeah, the very first
one
guest.
as well.
Yeah.
So if they get cancelled, I apologise. Don't blame me.
What else did we say as well earlier? I'll just deviate for 1 second.
Yeah, please.
It's just that Tom is not interested in the monetary value neither. He wouldn't.
No,
He wouldn't
no.
sell it.
No.
Which I think is a very virtuous thing.
Yeah.
He would not sell. You wouldn't sell your soul. In
No.
other words, would you? You wouldn't
No.
sell the idea of
No.
who you are
Exactly.
and label it as a pedagogy for
Yeah,
people
no.
to follow.
Well,
No way.
first
no
off,
way.
let's state what it is first. I mean, you haven't asked like what it is that he does.
Yeah.
Yes. What is it you do?
I mean, there's many things, things.
Well, he
But-
meditates, but he
yeah.
also has his philosophy, and he goes
Yeah.
through his everyday ideas. But you have an interesting background.
Yes. Well, with kind of this thing is, or with my philosophy and so on, is one of the center or one of the core principles of it is about, when people ask me about it, is a lot of people come to me for advice, and you know, is it because I give good advice? I don't know. That's not for me to judge. But I do get a lot of conversations about things like advice, and it's nice to try and offer someone an alternative point of view, but. You see, the thing is for me is it's not about, as you say, like being worshipped as like a deity, a pedagogue or something. You say that's not what I'm about.
Teachers can be worshipped too.
They can be, and I'm kind of against the idea of idolization and things, because for me it's about, I want to encourage people to find their own philosophies.
So it's more.
That's-
It's not.
yeah.
It's not guru. It's guide.
Yes, I like that,
I
Jack.
can hold your
like
hand
that.
a bit, but
Yes.
I'll let you off.
Exactly.
But I'm not going to be, you have to follow
Exactly.
all my 12 steps. And
God, no, that's it. Yeah, 100%. Guru, not guide. Sorry, guide, not guru.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And for me, it's important that I kind of try to open people's minds, open people's hearts to perhaps there's another way of looking at life. But I can guide you, or I can teach you things, but I can't make you learn. But I want you to find your own philosophy for you.
What specifically are they asking you?
Oh,
you don't have to give
yeah.
me examples, but it's like, what other alternative advice are you giving these people other than the mainstream?
It's a great
I
question.
would say that there is the mainstream.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
are several other people who I would consecrate outside of the mainstream. I mean, Russell Brand's a good guide.
Yes.
I think he's a good advocate for the soul and the heart. and all
These
this
days, he's got a lot.
Even Jordan
interesting
Peterson's
things.
quite a good guide for
Yeah.
young men,
Yes.
especially. And then
Yeah.
there's other good guides as
Yeah,
well.
There's good, like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots
Marcus
of
Aurelius is a good guide.
Yeah.
Marcus
You-
Aurelius is a good guy.
Yeah.
David Goggins, who I mentioned
David
earlier.
Goggins is a
Yeah.
good guide, yeah. And then there's there are many good guides throughout history, but
Definitely.
and you can always look at their work. I mean, Shakespeare is essentially a guide to how
Yeah.
to perform on a stage, you know.
But that's why, like, there's a few YouTube channels I watch, and they're very successful because of this idea of being a guide, not a
guide,
guru.
yeah.
Right. Right.
But then there is some that'll be like, "Oh, pay for this, buy
Yeah.
this."
Exactly.
And-
Exactly.
And yeah, okay, they might attract an audience, but that's
Yeah.
not. I'm not that audience,
Yeah.
or people who really get value from them see them as a guide. I think.
I think I completely agree with that.
But
I mean,
you're
for-
as you
yeah,
said, like
yeah.
you're not trying to make money from it.
God, no.
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 It's-
No.
because
no.
there's so too much of that in this world, and
Yeah.
also
It's a personal journey.
yeah,
Is it for
there's
me,
so much,
for-
there's,
yeah,
and there's also
yeah,
so
yeah.
much, there's so much more to offer when it's just from the goodness of your heart.
That's it.
You know
That's
that
it.
like that you actually you offer more and you receive more.
Yeah. It's more fulfilling.
Fulfilling,
You
yeah.
could say, yeah.
It's the Jesus
yeah.
principle.
I suppose it is, and I mean it's these things that I don't think about. You know, I don't think about the monetary side of things. Is for me, it's about going back to the question you asked me about advice.
Well, yeah.
Is
Yeah, sorry.
What are people specifically looking? No, I mean that's a great side thing as well.
Yeah,
about being a guide.
definitely,
I
definitely,
think
yeah.
that was
Yeah,
great.
it's
But
excellent.
about
Yeah.
what are they specifically asking you about?
Advice for just general things in the life.
Spiritual
so-
advice. Or
Spiritual advice with relationships, advice with all sorts of different things. And you see, the thing with me is, part of my philosophy is it's all about looking inward. It's not about looking outward, because I think the problem that we have is, in my opinion, that we look outward for answers. But like they say in Taoism, like they say in Buddhism and these other Eastern philosophies, now, you know, I came to this conclusion before I'd even heard of these things or before I'd even studied these things. But for me, it's
from being
about...
a child, yeah.
From being a child, that
Right.
was it. It was always about looking inward, and by finding that peace, and by finding that quiet and so on, by asking the questions on the inside, would present the answers, and it would allow me to think and see clearly. So what I tend to do is to try and offer advice and try to get people to look inward as opposed to outward, because the thing is, with outward, the physical world is constantly changing. It's constantly moving and evolving.
You mentioned this today.
Yeah.
This would also be a controversial topic.
Mm.
But what are the kind of people who are looking outward and not inward?
In today's society,
Yes.
to be quite honest, Jack, I think there are, you know, we can categorise people with labels in this thing, but I think the majority of just people do.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Is you know, we look for example, in the Christian faith, whatever, you look in the Holy Book, you look in the Bible, and you look to say Jesus or God for answers and stuff.
That would be the outward, yeah.
Exactly.
But then there is an inward.
Yeah,
though.
there is an inward,
You
and
do pray.
That's it. So it's about finding that inward and how you
have the
use
rosaries
that.
and all of these kinds of
Yeah,
things.
that's it. Is can you take that and look inward to apply this philosophy or to apply this advice or things, the quotes you might learn from the Bible? Can you apply that to yourself? And can it either heal you, make you a better person, or something like this?
If it is the Bible.
Yeah, if it is the Bible, of
Well, it
course.
could be many
yeah.
other,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
scriptures, many holy
Could be
scriptures,
just
and
a
so
good
on.
book.
Exactly, it could
Yeah,
be. It
yeah.
could be. Yeah. Can you
I-
internalize it?
I
Work
think
on it.
that what you're on about too, though, is like with outward, it's consumerism,
Consumerism, materialism.
materialism,
Yeah,
and also
100%.
looking for
100%.
not clout, but like, you know, looking for confirmation from other people.
Exactly. Confirmation, affirmation, exactly.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
wanting these yeah.
How do you differentiate materialism though with consumerism when you need the stuff to be able to function? for example, you need all of
Yeah.
these things. We have you've got a very nice camera. We have some nice microphones. We have all of this stuff here, and
Everything we paid for.
yeah, but that's essentially it.
Yeah,
It's produced at such a phenomenal rate
Yeah.
Yeah.
that if you went back even 60 years ago, you wouldn't be able to do it.
I think it's about being a mindful consumer as well. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the thing is we have to have things to live. We have to have a roof over our head in some way, shape, or form. We have to
You need a
have
home, yeah.
we have to have these basic
The
things.
shelter.
But
Yeah,
exactly,
it's
I think it's the
basic
excess.
rights. It's the
Exactly,
excess.
it's the
Exactly.
excess which is what kind of
Or it's
people
the
get
belief
engulfed in.
that-
Yeah,
It's the belief
yeah,
if I buy
yeah.
A, I'll become B.
Exactly. Yeah,
You know,
I buy
and-
this Rolex and it makes me look really cool. And
Exactly,
people
yeah.
will be
Oh,
more attracted
I'll
to
have
me.
a girlfriend in 2 weeks.
Exactly.
But it does make you look
Exactly.
cooler.
Yeah.
And
It
it
does.
does give you girlfriends.
Well, the thing
Perhaps,
is,
but-
if
yeah.
it
It's not
makes
that
you if it makes you more confident,
It's not that
you
it
know,
does.
if you
Yeah.
can feel comfortable with it. But if you
Yeah.
if you buy that Rolex and then you can't eat for the next week,
Yeah.
then it's
Was it
something wrong.
worth it?
All right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's not that it does. It can.
It can.
So
Yeah.
then there's the
It can't. That's true.
Yeah.
the possibility of that it can still can't. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it's all about being aware and mindful of what you're doing. You know,
Yeah.
I like to buy things, you know, I like to try and live a simple life. I do. It's just me. But I don't mind buying something, a quality product.
Yeah.
You know, if it does the job and if it's better quality, it lasts longer and these things.
And it improves
But-
my life quality.
Yeah, exactly.
I can really
exactly.
hear those bells,
yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually.
It's
We're
a
talking
sign.
about stuff like
Yeah.
this. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
almost. Yeah.
No, but if
It's a
it
sign.
improves
Yeah.
if it improves your general quality of life, then go for it.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for the right reasons,
That's it. Yeah.
because there's a lot of
100%.
wrong reasons out
Well,
there.
this
God,
was a question I asked Tom earlier.
But that's about looking inward.
Yes.
Answering that question.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So can you
Sorry,
take
Jack.
that? Yeah, yeah.
There's two questions I want to ask. you.
Yeah.
So one of them is, what is the excess?
Oh,
Is the excess having these chocolate cookies here, which I bought for everyone, by the way, because I'm a very good host, or is it buying a Rolex? I mean, those two are very extreme examples, but I
Yeah.
could always buy the better chocolate cookies
yeah.
Yeah.
as opposed to the shit one, as opposed to the bad ones.
You can curse.
I'll try.
Sorry, kids.
Yeah, we'll try and keep the cursing out. Yeah, as opposed to the bad ones, or the cheaper ones, or the ones that have more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. Palm oil, whatever. You know. It
They've
goes-
less palm
yeah.
oil, no dairy. Or
Yeah,
goes through
yeah.
the excess of things that we see as good. Well, I mean, vegan.
Well,
if
I
it
think
has a
you need
vegan
to.
stamp on it,
I
somehow
think
it
you need
speaks
to
the-
decide that
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any real answer to that.
Yeah.
Is that the inward then?
I think that's the yeah.
Yeah.
That's the true inward.
I think for me it's about is you know it's unhealthy when you're chasing it. When that becomes a part of your character, when that becomes a part of your personality to have this Rolex, my question is then, so if this Rolex makes you more confident and so on, but as soon as you remove that, are you still a confident person? And
Here's the thing,
and that's it.
which I thought was really interesting. I heard it was a podcaster who said this, and he was I think it might have been Joe Rogan.
Right.
I'm unsure who it was, but I think it might have been a dude on Joe Rogan's show. It might have been Mike Tyson actually, but I can't remember who said it. But David Goggins. I don't know. So it was somebody on this sphere or in this sphere.
Yeah.
Athlete.
Yeah, like and he goes on about how you can be a dude, like a bro, like a real genuine human.
Yeah.
And the GOAT, as I think that people call it, don't they, these days?
Goat,
Yeah.
greatest of all time.
Yeah, greatest
Yeah.
of all time. And you can have nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can be a GOAT
Mhm.
and have everything. You can also be somebody who's, I don't know, a bit slap-wristed and a bit, you know,
Yeah.
like I would say the worst vibration of a man.
Yeah.
You can give him everything, and he's still not a GOAT.
Mm.
It's like
It's all about
character
personal
of the,
character.
Yeah,
and
it's like the
qualities.
character of the human.
Exactly, and that's
You
what
can
I
give him
touch
nothing,
on.
and he's
yeah.
still not a GOAT. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's like what
There's
you were
nothing he can do to
Yeah.
make himself that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you give him
Whereas,
a Rolex.
whereas,
Yeah.
whereas a pauper on the street, or you know what I mean, like a whole, like whatever, anybody
Yeah.
in the world,
I mean, Jesus was.
they can
essentially
have
that
nothing.
person.
They
Yeah,
can have
yeah,
nothing,
He
but
had, he had
Yeah.
nothing, but he was still the
but
GOAT.
they'd give
know
you
what I mean?
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. So it's about chasing it. You know, these materialistic desires. Are you a person that always wants the new iPhone, for example? It's a classic example.
Yeah, that's
but
a good one,
are you being driven in your life? Are you chasing this new product? Does it become a part of your being? And does your life revolve around, for example, a product? But when you remove said product, are you still the same person? Do you have something left inside?
Is that what you do?
Do I chase products?
Well, Apple iPhones, for example.
No. I mean, my phone was £100, €100. It's an LG phone.
You mean 100 real monies?
100 real monies. That's it. Not Monopoly monies. Sorry, the population of Europe.
Well, I've never been that into things. I like things.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I like to have things around me.
Yeah.
I'm into. I like my weights.
Yeah.
I like to have the things around. I like my computer. I like the things that
that
benefit me
yeah.
somehow.
I like things to solve problems in my
But
life.
having the next iPhone never.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an 11,
Yeah.
and I got it second hand, and I've never really had a phone as good as this.
And you're happy with it.
And I'm happy with it.
And it does your job.
It does the job perfectly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a sweet deal.
I think it's about having what you need in life. I think it's modesty comes in there. It's about having what you need. Does it allow you to do the things that you need to do, whether or not it's a moral thing or an immoral thing? You know, does having the iPhone make me a better person or not? Theoretically, it shouldn't matter, but does it allow you to do your job? Yes. End of story. Then that's you need that, or weights if you need to exercise and things like that. I think it's okay to have things. For me, I tend to be, again, I'm not a massive fan of labels, but minimalistic in certain aspects. And having
The fact that you're not a massive fan of labels is a
Yeah.
label.
it is.
It's a paradox, no?
There you go. Okay. Gotcha.
Boom.
You got me. I'll let myself out. But either way, it's for me is I don't like to have too many things. I don't like to have too much clutter in my life, simply because with more objects, with more things comes more responsibilities, more things to worry about, more things to think about. And for me, it's a bit of a mental drain you have to think about. Or if I have to clean more, if I've got so many objects that are unnecessary and things like sitting on my shelf or something, and it doesn't bring me any kind of pleasure, it doesn't serve a purpose or whatever, then it's collecting dust. It's just another responsibility.
What serves a purpose?
I suppose, I mean, that depends on the individual, right? You know, like weights, for example. So you came to mine yesterday and you saw...
I'll ask it as a total question.
Yeah.
So, first, what is purpose?
Right.
Then what serves the purpose?
Again, it's an individual answer, I'd say. I think really is what are you looking for in life? What is your purpose? Trying to find that. Again,
What journey are you on?
What journey are you on, exactly?
Who's your guide?
Who's your guide? Exactly. And for me, it should be kind of yourself should be your guide, but learning from others in order to drive that force and what's the word? Yeah.
Imitate?
Emanate. That's it.
Emanate.
Emanate your
Put
own.
out into the world, yeah.
Emanate your own kind of philosophy. But I suppose, we're all on a process of learning.
I think we're all in a process,
So,
and I think there's no way of just saying
Yeah.
that's enough or that's not worthy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
Speaking on the terms of a guide, then, because I like that, Jack. You came up with a good one there. Do you think men need a second father in their lives?
I think
Because the first father is the one who he essentially raises you, know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You come out of his womb.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a controversial topic. But birthing people.
No,
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
That's funny.
The one that raises you.
Yeah, well, he's the one that is there after the conception,
I think-
after the twink in the eye, the one
What's
who
the
raises
second
you.
one?
Then should there be a second one? Is this linked in with the purpose?
Yeah.
Is this also linked in with the entwined souls as well?
As for the soul parts, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it's certainly possible, you know, maybe in different lives or whatever, those people have come into your lives and so on to guide you. But I'm of the strong opinion of having a bit like a master and apprentice kind of relationship, especially for boys, because with my own personal experience, as a teenager, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents, mainly my granddad. And, you know, he kind of raised me into this teenager and had a massive, same for you, had a massive influence on my life.
Both sets of grandparents.
Yeah, both sets of grandparents, And for me, it was just one set of grandparents. And my granddad taught me things like woodwork. And we'd go through all these different things. We'd go on outings together. We'd go to museums. We'd do all sorts of different things. But he used to call me his apprentice. And then shortly before he died, it was before I left. It was shortly before I left for here, so that was 2018. He said that I've got nothing left to teach you anymore. You're no longer the apprentice, you're now the master. Which brought a tear to my eye, of course. But I think for men, it's important to have some kind of, at least father figure or some kind of guide in your life to teach you to be a better man.
The grandfather. Well, there is a grandfather.
Yeah.
I want to say stereotype, but that's archetype.
Archetype.
Yeah. Grandfather archetype.
Yeah.
My grandfather died very young on my
Right. father's
father's side, and my mother's side, he wasn't like that at all for me.
Right.
Like, he wasn't emotionally unavailable, kind of, in a way. But also, my father did a great job raising me, but he never went into those hard topics.
Right.
Have you had a...
But then I met when I left Ireland, I met other people, like men, and they taught me a few lessons here and there, and that developed into who I am today. I
Good.
think.
Yeah.
So you're the man who never had a guide. Would you be the guide for another man?
Yeah,
For an
totally.
would you take an apprentice?
I have been, I totally, Like some people, I've I've given a voice to, but not like in a.
So for an example, if somebody, I don't know, if let's say they're 15, a 15-year-old boy wrote to you and he said, "I want to learn everything about
filmmaking
stuff, setting up podcasts, being with, I don't know, you do weddings and all. You do everything basically, don't you?
Run and gun filmmaker.
But if somebody came to you and said, "I want to learn that. I'm 15. I'll work for free."
Totally, yeah.
You'd say yeah.
As long as they're helpful and you know what I mean, yeah, for sure, yeah, I would, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you do the same?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I like to do that through my teaching, and not just if they're younger than me, but if they're older than me as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like to, there's a lot I have to learn as well. But for those of you who don't know, I love grammar. I know, right? Grammar's a big part of my life with teaching, and I know a lot of teachers hate grammar, but I love it. And I know a lot of people come to me at work, not teachers but students, specifically for grammar-related questions. But I think passion is another driving force behind this, because I have a passion for grammar. And I think if a young apprentice, for example, has a passion for something, no matter, or even if it's an older apprentice, as long as you've got some kind of passion, some kind of drive, and you want to truly learn that subject.
And you're willing to.
Yeah.
Especially, I think like offering value.
Exactly.
Is the first step to getting there. If someone came to me, but first they said to me, whatever you're working on right now, I can help you with that edit. And then I send the footage and they actually added value. Then I'll be like, okay, come along. I'll give you whatever. I'll even pay you.
So they have to show off to you, essentially.
No, yeah. I think, because what I do, in my job to get jobs, I'll tell people, I'll make them a free video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Offer value and then you get value back.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way.
If you need any filmmaking, contact Jack.
JackRay.com.
Today's sponsor.
Exactly. I can look spell on that.
That's really interesting. So you offer free stuff just to get stuff back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like an investment,
I'm of the
right?
same. I'm of the same mind.
Yeah.
That's persuasion. That's a persuasion method,
I think if I treat you guys well, you'll come on again next time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's also that kind of principle.
Yeah, it's the same principle. Yeah, you voluntarily paid for my taxi here, for example, and I said no, I don't want anything from the shop. You got me a wrap. Anyway.
Yeah. Still got you some food. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's it's just nice. It's just small things,
It was the biscuits that did it for me.
The biscuits.
The biscuits. Yeah. Won't come again if there's no biscuits. Be mindful.
We'll set up a Patreon page.
Biscuits for Tom.
Tom's biscuits.
€2 a week.
Please don't.
Oh my God, that's a great one.
Tom's biscuits.
Tom's biscuits.
Oops,
This week's donation include bourbon biscuits.
Yeah.
Custard creams.
Yeah, custard creams €1. And Jammy Dodgers €2.
Oh, Jammy Dodgers. I remember the Jammy Dodgers.
Oh,
Jaffa
brilliant.
cakes.
Jaffa
Do
cakes.
you remember
yeah.
BMBMs?
Oh, the French biscuits.
BMBM.
The little...
BMBM.
Yeah. Like the little sandwich. They're like little... They got chocolate in between and the two...
or jam. They were either chocolate or jam, weren't they?
Ah, I know the chocolate ones.
We got the jammy ones.
Right.
It's probably a Barnsley and a Huddersfield thing.
It might well be.
Yeah. You like the stuff that looks brown. We like the stuff that looks red.
That's just the way it goes.
Where I was going with that.
God knows. This is not an accurate representation, ladies and gentlemen, of the rivalry between Huddersfield and Barnsley. However,
who knows these things?
Who knows these things?
Let's go back to.
Then it started to snow.
Yes. Then the bells rang again. With little tiny bells. Yes. Right. Let's get back to you meditating.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the soul.
Yeah.
Let's get back to angels.
Yeah.
Can you see angels?
So it's a good question, and I won't go too much into it. But what I'll say is I've had angelic experiences. That's all I'll say. All I'll say on the topic at the moment.
All right.
At the moment,
So
but
angelic
yeah,
experiences.
I've had angelic experiences.
Through
definitely.
meditation.
Yep. So through meditation, that's it. Yep.
Well, always meditation or not?
For me, is because there are two. So
'Cause you told me about a state of consciousness yesterday
Yeah.
where you are connected.
Yeah.
Is it the what? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it, you are connected? Is that it? Is that
that's
what the
what
state
I
is
say.
called?
Yeah, opened up, connected, and so on.
Open. Yeah, open
So
connection.
there's these different kind of tools I like to use. For example, so in my daily life is you could describe me in my daily life as more of a Taoist or more of a Stoic. Is about taking that information, especially the Stoic form, taking that, writing it down, etc., reflecting on these things, but also the Taoist form of letting nature take its course, essentially.
We mentioned that before.
Exactly. But when it comes to meditation, for me, is one thing that I think is important to say, something I'm very passionate about, is for me, meditation is a toolkit. So it's not, at least the meditations I experience, is they're not just about sitting quietly on your own in a corner. That's just kind of, for me, that's the most basic form. It's just finding peace.
Can I ask you a question on that?
Yeah.
Can you meditate with another person and you interconnect through the meditation?
What you mean, like you could see each other in the meditation?
Possibly, yeah.
I've never experienced it myself. It may be possible. I don't think so as of this time, but I've not experienced it myself. But when you do meditate with another person, or at least do the ones that I do, is you do pick up on each other's kind of vibes or energy, if you like to call it, and things like that. So it does.
You can tell if the other one's after kind of
Yeah.
coming out of it a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know why,
Yeah.
but you can.
Yeah, you
feel
can pick
that
up on
energy.
these energies,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
and it can make it more intense and other things as well. Yeah, yes, yeah.
Oh, we talked
Yeah.
about energy earlier.
Yeah.
And I said that Tom had a very aura energy around you. We talked about auras. and I
Oh,
wrote
last
that down,
night,
didn't I?
yeah.
Auras and the lights effect.
Yeah.
But we talked a lot yesterday, and I was looking at you, and you had the aura. I could see it. The light was reflecting off of you. It was
That's
very
nice.
nice.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a pleasant experience.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But meditation. Who have you
Yeah.
met in your meditations?
So, well, this is it. Is for me, there's other types of meditation, and this is where. So, I mean, this is stuff I've been doing again since being a child.
Have you met yourself in the meditation, or have you met other things?
Yes, I've met myself in the meditation as well. Normally, I am myself, but there are points where you. So, for context, is one of the meditations that I do is, so you have these deeper forms, and for me is I realised there was something in this because I had these experiences and then found out that, for example, in Buddhism and so on, and other kind of Eastern philosophies, they also have these different stages of meditation. Now, I am not an expert on meditation. Neither am I an expert on Buddhism either. But I don't really know most of the things about that philosophy and faith and stuff. However, it's interesting to corroborate the experiences and the evidence. Now, with my meditations, I have these.
Corroborate meaning you look at both perspectives.
Yeah, like for example, what's come to me without any external influence or whatever, something that I've received and something that I've experienced, just so happens to be the same thing that's in a book like 3,000 years old, or in other places, or other people have had similar experiences who are doing similar things. So it's nice to kind of give some quantifiable or testable evidence to that in a sense. But for me, with the meditations is what I go on. I have like these, you could call it like a dream state, if you like, or like a journey. I like to call them journeys. And in these journeys, I'll go into what I believe to be a deep state of consciousness.
I think you also mentioned yesterday that
Yeah.
you might. It was interesting because you said that you might access in your brain the same thing that
It's like DMT or LSD.
might access
It could.
or LSD.
Exactly. It could quite well
Deep
be
state
possible.
meditation
Deep
is
state.
possible. Yeah.
That's it.
So you mentioned that. Yeah. So just
Yeah.
for reference.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that yesterday.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned that
I could be a complete raving loony.
It could be a loony.
And the thing is, for me, is I'm open to accept these things because, again, with the, I mean, they're not far wrong, but that's it. Is for me, I'm open to different possibilities with this. It could well simply be imagination. For me, it feels a lot stronger than imagination because I see it as like a reality, like I enter a dream state or I enter this kind of this space where it becomes so strong. It does take a lot of practice for me, but it does become so strong that it's just like physical reality. But that takes a lot of doing to get into. So, but with that aside, is that it could be some kind of dream state. It could be I'm accessing something in my brain. I've found a way to access some kind of DMT chemical or something like that. It could well just be imagination, or it could be I'm a complete lunatic.
Shall we mention now, I don't know if you could edit this out as well, Jack, but you also said that you'd like to work with scientists on this.
Yeah, one day I'm willing to. I am willing to try and make this testable. And of course, the thing that we suffer from at the moment is we have the lack of equipment, I would say, because we can only test things like, I could be wrong on this one, but the experiments I've seen is like things like electromagnetic waves and these other kind of things, and heartbeats and other technologies. But I think if we develop technology that can test these things, and I'd be willing to test them out. But I think the thing,
interested to see you in this state
exactly,
in an MRI machine.
Exactly, something like that, and something beyond that as well, something specifically designed for testing, say, we'll call it metaphysical kind of things.
Well,
you
mentioned a dude yesterday who also does this in some Asian country.
Oh yeah, there was the Chinese. He's a qigong practitioner, and I don't know his name either. I think the video's from like 2004.
But you said he could move things with his hands.
Yeah. So context. So basically, he from what I've seen, he's a healer, and he does things like acupuncture, and I think he may be a Chinese doctor, traditional Chinese medicine, but he practices the art form or the energy cultivation form of qigong. So it's a core principle to Tai Chi. It's where essentially they draw the power from, but also they do it for health benefits as well. And his chi allegedly was so strong that he would move things. He would be able to push something through, like being able to emanate this energy outwards and do that. And also there's a video of him setting a piece of paper on fire because what you do is when he does like this electrotherapy, I don't know if that's the correct thing, when you touch him, he can send like an electrical current. It's as if it goes through his nerves, and he can send that through you, and he gives you an electric shock. And I believe they've measured this as well, and they're like voltometers or whatever they're called have read these things. They've read measurements that.
They've conducted electricity from his body.
Exactly. Yeah.
He just has a potato on his
body. It's a possibility. Yeah, exactly.
Chinese, it's just an Irish dude.
An undercover Irish dude.
Yeah.
Potato Pac-Man. That's it. Yeah.
No. It's interesting. You just want quantifiable evidence. I mean, that's what people are going to rate.
Yeah. It's making it testable, making it believable for the skeptic. That's the thing.
Tom also mentioned yesterday that the Western media went there and they made him look like a fool.
Yeah, the Western media, from what I remember, is the Western media went there and they filmed him, and I think most of it was all right, but I think some parts that they put, he personally told them not to put that on the video because it's sensitive information. People won't understand it, like with the fire thing and stuff, and he doesn't want it to be publicised. I think I could be completely, speaking out of turn, I could be completely wrong, but from what I remember is I think he asked them not to, they can film it, just to say they've got evidence of it, but not to publish that publicly. But then they did. And then he refused communication with them ever again, and there's been no Western documentaries.
They can spin it whichever way they want.
Exactly.
After the fact.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think with this metaphysical stuff, I mean, for me and my beliefs is it doesn't matter whether you believe me or not. It's not for me to come here and convert people. That's not what I aim to do. It's what I aim to do is try to open minds and say to people, perhaps there's more to this reality perhaps than what we think there is, and the key to that is looking inward. Give it a try. If it makes you a better person, try it. If not, then it's not for you. But I think that's the thing for me. But from my own experiences, I've had enough kind of these experiences to say there's definitely something in this, but I'm not a show monkey. And that's why I don't kind of perform certain things with people. I'm very closed off about this information and so on. So, yeah. That's just some of the things. Some of the things, yeah.
So who have you met in your meditations?
So in these meditations, so again, just to go in that, so I go into this like deep states, it's like I become aware of myself within or through the mind's eye, as they call it.
It could be DMT.
It could well be. It could be imagination. It could be other things which I don't understand. I have a feeling I know what it is, but maybe for another podcast. However, it could be any one of these things.
What is it, Gone? You can't just say that and just move on.
Trade secret.
All right, thank you.
For another time. But no, it could be any one of these things, and I'm open to accepting that. Again, there's always the possibility that I'm a nut job. So no, but in the meditations and in these deep states, they consist. Break the fourth wall there.
Yeah. No. Continue. Continue.
It's crazy.
No, continue.
So in your meditation,
I don't mind. Yeah. So in the meditations, so sometimes I have ones where I just kind of I go into these different locations, okay, and I just go in there and I might have a walk around, or I might take in these sounds and sights and things. I could be at the top of a mountain, for example.
Are you aware of your physical body?
No, there's no physical body. I'm coming in
because
as
you are still sitting on that chair, maintaining your breathing level.
That's it. Is when I do this, when I go into these states, is I become we'll call it like an energy body, if you like a spirit body. Okay, I know we're getting into the tough stuff now, so take it with a pinch of salt. However, I become like a spirit version of myself. But what's interesting is that's only because I automatically humanize it. But I don't have to be. I can condense to a single point because, from what I believe, consciousness it doesn't take the form of anything.
What do you mean by humanize it?
So, for example, when we do these meditations, or when I go into these meditations and stuff, naturally.
You mean to give it a 3D reality?
Yeah, like a 3D. Yeah, that's it. And you see it. So in the meditations, you see yourself as, like a light version, like an energy version of your current body. But you have the ability to change that because consciousness, in my opinion, doesn't just belong to. It's not a single part of anyone's body. It doesn't exist in a single place. It exists all over as a kind of full form. So when I go into these things, I have the ability to, or in the dream state, we'll call it, change that consciousness to anything I want to do. But it doesn't change because it's the physical form that changes. But in there, consciousness is still consciousness. I'm still seeing, I'm still perceiving how I would kind of hear, if you like. So I could go down to a single point, or I could be the size of an elephant, for example. But I'm still conscious, and I still perceive it in the same way, regardless of form. So, yeah, I know just as a little side note with that, I know there's a famous quote from Bruce Lee, isn't there, saying like, be like water. When he says, when you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. When you put it into a jug, it becomes the jug. It's the space in between that makes it useful.
I would... Go on, Jack. You go first.
One question I would have is
please.
How do you feel after you come out of that?
That is a great question, and it depends on the intensity of the meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it can be absolutely, I'm shattered, I'm tired, I'm really tired. The majority of the time is it gives me this kind of energy boost, this positive boost, and I come out of it feeling a better person.
Mm-hmm.
But
like
again,
any meditate, I meditate not regularly, but every once in a while. And you just kind of, when you open your eyes, and I just brain fog gone.
Yeah.
Everything's a bit clearer.
Clarity.
Everything looks like it's like there's more sun in the room.
Yeah, that's it.
Or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I find myself like recently. I was talking to Jack to this recently. I've been going running, and every time I go running,
I was going to mention this actually. Yeah.
Every time I go running, I used to always wear headphones or earphones, but I've stopped that now. I want to.
Interesting.
I'm increasing my mileage at the moment. And I'm trying to get more in tune with my body, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I find that not wearing my headphones allows me to do that. But after, say about 6 kilometers, 8 kilometers, I just find myself, my breathing is at the same level, and I'm meditating.
Yeah, that's it. Is meditation comes in, this is the thing with Western meditation, for example, is we believe it to be just kind of sitting in a corner, cross-legged or lotus position, hands like this going om, and either doing breath work or just finding peace. But meditation comes in so many.
Or something.
That's exactly, that's it. Meditation in so many different forms.
That never brought me peace.
No, but that's
it was good for stretching. No, I'm serious. It was
Like for yoga.
The yoga. Yeah, I mean the yoga.
Like taking in your breath and.
The yoga's
Yeah.
strange. Yeah, there are doctrines on yoga too.
Yeah. But the thing is, there's a big difference between these Western forms and these. I would say this is going to offend a lot of people, but I would say the Western forms of these kind of topics of Eastern philosophies tend to be bastardized.
Indeed.
So Eastern yoga, you look at the yogis and stuff, and all these positions they're capable of doing, but they also talk about the spiritual side of things. But with a lot of yoga classes I've seen or heard of, is they lack a lot of that. It's there, but it's watered
more about
down.
the physical.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it's more like an exercise routine. And it's taken there's a spiritual essence in there, but it's watered that down to the point where it focuses on the physical.
But that also, I think, for a Western audience, it makes it more acceptable,
Exactly.
and they'll actually do it.
Exactly, it gets people into it, and that's the thing. Yeah,
But
yeah.
As you were saying, just to finish that last point of how you feel after your deep meditation.
Yeah.
You're tired, but sometimes you might actually feel clearly.
It completely varies. I'd say it's the opposite. I'd say sometimes I'm tired, but most of the time I come out of it feeling very energized, very positive.
Yeah, energized.
Thinking clearly, like you said, Jack. You get this kind of you regain clarity on subjects.
Can you see into the future?
That's a topic for another time. That's definitely a topic for another time.
Can you see
That's
into
a big one.
Can you see
That's a
into the
big one.
past?
That's a topic for another time.
All right.
Let's put it this way.
Can you see in the present day then? Could you, for example, see me at the same time?
No, that's an
me
interesting
being,
topic.
I don't know, for example, brushing my teeth.
It's called remote viewing.
Remote view.
It's called remote viewing.
Can you remote view?
All I will say is I've had experience with everything you've just mentioned.
Excellent.
But that's as far as I'll go.
Second podcast.
So second
Part
podcast.
2
Part 2
Part
coming
two.
soon.
But we get really deep into there's a lot to explain with that. Like when we went up onto the hill that time, and
we sat
on
there
that
for 3
bench,
hours, I think.
and I was trying to explain the fundamentals of things.
Can you tell the
please.
audience as well about the blind? Well,
the
so much to
blind
go
guy.
on.
I mean, part
The
two,
blind guy.
part 2 we could do on a mountain.
That would be a lot of fun.
Bonus special.
We're an hour in, just so you know.
We're okay.
We're an hour and 10
We're an
minutes.
hour- we're an hour
just
and
so
10.
you know.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Let's-
Just
Yeah.
so you know.
Sounds
yeah,
good.
go on. Continue.
I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
So one is about the blind guy,
Mm.
which I think we should pick on afterwards. But the first one would be, how much has film influenced this topic of viewing?
Oh, interesting. What you mean in terms of like?
In terms of seeing a film on a screen, and you're like, well, I now can
picture that or something.
Yeah, but you've seen somebody's interpretation probably of what a meditation feels like and what a deep meditation would feel like.
Yeah.
And they take you through a journey of this.
Definitely.
Through a film.
Definitely.
So then you interpret that.
Yeah.
And then you kind of, how can I say, this would be what we talked about with Jesus, like the not emulate, what is it?
Emanate.
Not emanate.
Imitate.
Imitate.
That's
You
the
would
one.
imitate the.
We're all about 8s today.
We're all about the 8. You would imitate the 8,
Yeah.
and then I ate it.
Yeah.
But you would imitate.
But do not hate.
Yeah, but do not hate, please.
Apologies, audience. You don't have to. We don't have to put you
But
through
Tom
this.
might give you some more bait
Oh God, help us.
to sedate.
Oh Jesus.
And what are we going to do today? Create.
Oh!
Bravo.
Go on.
Dad jokes aside.
Dad jokes aside.
But where was I? About
Films.
Films.
And how they, yeah.
Well, the process. I don't know. A film could take you through a process, and it
Yeah.
would be somebody's imitation of what they've gone through as
Definitely,
a meditation, and then you
definitely.
take on that imitation.
Yeah.
And then you just project that into your mind.
There's a possibility
I
there.
would be
Yeah.
more interesting. It would be interesting
Mm.
to see to these deep meditations, what they would have
Yeah.
done maybe
Yep.
pre-film.
Yeah. That would be very interesting. I'm sure if you read back in like the Vedic texts and things, or like the Buddhism, ancient Hindu texts and these kind of things, there are documents, I believe, of these kind of meditations where they talk about all these kind of weird and wacky things.
Well, it's in the Bible.
so
I
on.
mean, God speaks. To them.
Yeah,
Ghosts are in the Bible.
Yeah.
All of this kind of stuff are in the
Yeah.
Bible. And you said they were mediums.
It's a possibility. I mean, essentially, they're like channels to God, aren't they? So, I mean, a medium essentially is a connection between. Well, with mediumship, as they say, it's a connection between the spirit world, if you like, and the physical world.
Yeah.
You know, in or by definition. But you know, there's that possibility that, you know, again, it's a possibility, not a fact. For those of you listening, or a theory at least, is there's one theory I've heard is that, you know, the prophets or whatever could well have been mediums, as they have like a connection to God or the Holy Ghost or something, and they're bringing through this kind of information or this wisdom that is shared with people for the greater good, all being well. Yeah. But going back to the film topic, actually, very quickly, is I definitely think that, you know, there are some films that resonate with, I'm sure, each and every one of us. And there are some films that resonate with me, definitely. Things like Interstellar. I think that was an amazing film, complete experience.
But that concept of him pushing the books out of the...
Exactly, and going through the black holes, the wormholes and things, and the time on the planets and all of that stuff.
What do you think about the cinematography in that one, Jack?
Fucking amazing. I loved it. Christopher Nolan, man, is really
unbelievable,
the top of his game, man. That's really
one of the best films he's made, I think.
Yeah.
And the score from Hans Zimmer is just what I think is my favourite composer, because I love music. I love to make music. And like we did yesterday, we had a blues jam, didn't we? I was playing the piano.
Yeah.
I gave you the harmonica and
the gob iron.
The gob iron. Before that, we had the banjo and the guitar and other things as well. The recorder, don't forget and the kalimba as well.
Jesus,
I know, right?
Well, there was an American friend there too, and Tom played the
the Deliverance, the dueling banjos thing. Sorry, Americans.
So Interstellar,
it
has a connection with you somehow.
Definitely, because I think it's something that, you know, it talks about these things or conceptualize these theories and these things which kind of push the limits of thought and kind of consciousness in a sense. Like it opens your eyes to. Now, of course, I know that physicists have talked about Interstellar and so on, and I think some of them have said, technically speaking, the theory of time dilation in this film is bang on, or, you know, this thing on that planet, well, technically couldn't happen, and so on. But either way, it does open your eyes to new possibilities. But the soundtrack with that, though, is meditative, in my opinion.
He did it with Dune.
Yeah.
Dune is
the music in Dune is it's epic.
Denis Villeneuve was
and even you just bringing this up to me right now, it's just like Susie came to me about 2 days ago and she just said, "Do you want to go and see Hans Zimmer live?" And I was like,
"Oh yeah,
is that a thing?"
Yes,
is he coming to Vienna?
You can go,
he's coming next month or something.
You can go and see him live.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Jesus.
I've seen him, 2016, I think it was, Manchester.
Okay.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
But there's no Dune in that one, though.
No, there isn't.
What did you get? Dark
There
Knight
was
and all
Dark
that?
Knight, Interstellar, Lion King, Pirates of the Caribbean, of course, and a couple of other ones that I can't quite remember.
Wedding Crashers.
Inception. There was Inception as well, I also think...
like some comedy, like an Adam Sandler comedy. Like.
Oh my God. The Thin Blue Line, is it Thin Red Line, I think it's called. I don't know whether that's the name of
the movie.
I think so.
I think there's a movie called Thin Red Line. I've never seen it myself. I think it's a World War II movie.
Yes, I think
Thin Red Line
it
is the Vietnam War, no?
Yeah,
I think it's World War II.
World War II. I'm not sure myself, but I think
War,
it was that
World
one.
War II. It's one of the three.
The Lion,
It's a good film. I've seen it.
Yeah,
it's a very good film.
No, I haven't seen Thin Red Line.
It's got the guy who played Jesus Christ from the Mel Gibson one.
I thought you were going to say from the Bible.
In Thin Red Line.
Ah, right.
I'm just making connections in my brain.
Right.
Because
I'm just saying when I watch a movie, that's your one from...
Yeah, that's the dude from there.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, he's played in this and in this. And
yeah.
Well, Mel Gibson's going to make a part 2, by the way.
Yeah. Interesting. I must admit, my film knowledge is very poor.
He's going to do the Resurrection as well.
Right.
Okay, very good.
So he's done the Passion of Christ, now he'll do the Resurrection.
Ah, okay.
Which will be interesting to watch.
Because at the end of Mel Gibson's one, Jesus dies and that's it, is that?
He does indeed, And then
there was a big clash back though when he made that,
It
right?
was massive, but...
I'd never seen it.
It was one of the highest grossing films ever made.
Yeah. Hero's Journey.
Yeah, but yes. Well, I think it cost something about 40 million. I looked at on the IMDb to make.
Yeah.
But they grossed about 250 million.
Wow.
for a
Yeah, so
film
there you go.
worldwide.
You're on
Yeah.
profit.
So he made
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
But it's a very accurate.
Just
I
a
think,
bit.
I think he did a very accurate adaptation of it. It was very true.
Mm.
You could feel it as well. It made me cry a lot.
I'll have to watch it.
A lot.
Yeah.
It was excellent.
William Dafoe also played Jesus
He
once.
did. Yeah, he did.
In a
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese film.
Yes.
Right.
Scorsese got a lot of backlash for that too.
Yeah.
And Scorsese made one called The Mission,
Right.
which is fantastic.
Don't know it.
This is about Christians who went to Japan.
With
Like
was that-
missionaries
with,
or
with
something.
Adam Driver,
Andrew
Garfield, and
Yes.
Liam Neeson.
Yes.
I've never seen it, but I heard it's great.
Great film.
But it's also meant to be.
Recommend.
I mean, I heard that, like, yeah, of course, there's some, artistic license being made, but the overall story of the Jesuits going to Japan is because the Japanese did not leave people in. But
No.
a lot of
No.
the history we have nowadays is from Jesuit scripture because the Japanese didn't. In that time, apparently, if you're looking for information, a lot of people go to the Jesuit scripture. Like,
the only people allowed in were the Dutch.
yeah,
Yeah. for
After
the
a
trading and
while,
stuff,
the Dutch
yeah.
trade.
for trading, yeah.
With
yeah.
books, I think they gave them books. I think they sold them books and
Yeah,
things like that.
and
guns.
Yeah.
and,
guns.
and if you look at
Western
the art
technologies.
of
Yeah.
the blue wave, like do you know that art, the Japanese art?
the big wave.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
from
yeah.
the collection of
The tsunami. Yeah,
it's from the collection of many views of Mount Fuji.
Right.
And this is the one of them, and that's inspired actually by Dutch art
Really?
and Japanese art, because the artist himself, he believed that he was getting better as he grew. Kazumi, how's it? So, I can't remember the name. Sorry,
Not sure.
but
Suzuki.
no,
Mitsubishi.
Honda.
no. He believed he was getting better as he went, and he took inspiration from Dutch art.
Excellent.
Right.
I did not
Because
know
if you
that.
look at the horizon is very low, just like a lot of Dutch art.
Wasn't Van Gogh Dutch?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned an expression the other day, if I can remember it right, and it's if you say somebody's tone deaf, they have Van Gogh's ear for music, which I like very much because, of course, he cut it off. So if you're tone deaf,
Yeah.
you have Van Gogh's ear for music.
You have the exact same. Yeah.
It was a list of idioms I gave to students, and that was one of them. Found that at the end. I'd not seen it, and they'd found that at the end and said, "Have you ever heard of this expression, Tom?" I said, "What is it?" And he goes, "Do you have Van Gogh's ear for music?" I said, "What?" And he explained it, and yeah, I like it. I
'Cause
think
he's
it's a
tone
good
deaf.
That's a good
'cause
one.
he's
That's
tone
a
nice
deaf,
one,
yeah.
yeah.
very
Yeah.
funny one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and hopefully I don't think I'm tone deaf. I think I've got 2 ears,
No, you.
so it's a good start.
When you do like music,
I do like.
I
music.
feel like
you
I'm
play
good
it
at
too.
I'm good
Yeah.
at rhythm, but like
Yeah.
I'm not like I think I'm a little bit tone deaf. I suppose.
Smartest
Yeah.
people meant to
Yeah.
be the drummers, no?
They're
That's the rhythm
amazing.
bass.
They are. They're the ones who.
Amazing, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, everyone follows
Yeah.
the drummer.
Yes,
Right?
they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I go to Hans Zimmer for sure.
Yeah.
I want to go to
That-
that.
definitely.
I didn't know that.
It was well worth it.
I'm
It's well
sure
worth
it's
it.
sold out
Yeah.
at this stage.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know.
There were only because
look it
another
up.
student of mine mentioned it, and this was on Tuesday that's just gone, and he said there were only about 2 tickets left or something, and they were in
Yeah.
really awkward places. It was
Right.
like 2 tickets at the
Well, Susie,
opposing each other.
Susie knows the guy who drives the lorries for it,
Ah,
and he can
right.
get tickets. So
Ah,
maybe. She did the same with Cirque du Soleil as well.
really?
She knows a guy who put up something. I don't know. So we got some free tickets.
She knows to help.
She knows the help.
help.
It's essentially yeah.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
knows. It's one of the. It's not about what you know.
It's
It's,
about
about
who
who
you
you
know.
know.
That's
it.
Vienna. That
Yeah,
is Vienna.
That is Vienna,
Yeah.
big style.
yeah.
Yeah.
Big style.
Yeah.
Back on topic.
Right.
Hans Zimmer. Interstellar was one that influenced you.
I'd say it had a profound effect on me.
Profound
yes.
effect.
Did it have an influence on meditations? No.
No.
Did it? You know, I listen to Interstellar music very often, very very often. I think that is something that I use to calm myself down before I go into the deep meditative state.
Do you play
So-
music to go into deep meditation?
Yeah, just to chill me out basically, just to help me relax. Because the important thing is being 100% relaxed. You can't have any thoughts of doubt in there. You can't have any tension. You've got to kind of let it go, breathe it out, and become. Yeah, feel the oneness, I guess, before you then kind of open up and go into the deeper states.
So who
Yeah.
have you seen?
Who have I seen? So there. Let's say this. I've seen a whole host of different, we'll call them beings, but among those are humans and also animals as well. And you'll never believe it, but trees.
Trees.
Speaking trees.
I mean,
Yes.
plants are living.
That's it. That's it. Plants, speaking trees. So send me to the where is the nearest asylum? Does anybody? Is it over there by any chance? Or come to my house.
Yeah.
Want to see
That's
some
it.
trees? Want to see some trees?
We actually have them on speed dial, so they'll be here.
Yeah, am I bugged? Hang on a minute.
I have seen Jesus once,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and this was before I went. This was before I even became, how can I say, more of an inclination towards that religious nature.
Faith. Yeah.
Faith.
Yeah.
I call
yeah.
it faith. Let's call it
Yeah,
faith.
it's called faith.
So let's
yeah.
call it either grace or faith. Before the grace
Mm.
touched me and the faith, you need the faith.
Yeah.
I saw him once, and I was incredibly dehydrated.
Yep.
I was suffering from withdrawal of alcohol,
Mm.
but severe withdrawal.
Oh, I remember you telling
Because
me.
it was
yeah.
It was a week of alcohol, and only alcohol. And it was the biggest bender I've ever been on.
Jesus.
Right. This is when we're young,
Yeah.
so we're like 19, 20, so you can take it a little bit. but
Yeah.
I think I got liver disease that week.
Yeah.
Probably. It was a lot,
Mm.
but I was dehydrated. We don't really eat properly as well, because
Mm.
you don't if you drink.
Mm. Mm.
No, you grabbed the quickest thing.
So yeah, I mean, I've been in the state, I think, of alcoholism,
Yeah.
because you withdraw and it's severe withdrawal.
Yeah.
Or I'm very susceptible maybe to severe withdrawal, I don't know. And ever since then I can't drink.
Mm.
It puts me off.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's why I drink alcohol-free beer.
Yeah.
But I seen him. He was there in the corner.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
as you're living and waking, you weren't in a
I-
meditative
I-
state, you
I
weren't
s-
praying.
I literally saw him.
Mm.
That's the only time I've really ever experienced that.
Are you sure you didn't just look in a mirror?
That's the thing. They also, I kind of look like. Well, the funny thing is when I went to church.
No, I'm not downplaying your experience.
I know,
I
but
don't
the-
mean to.
When you went to church, you opened the door and they all thought, "Oh my
No,
God!"
kind of.
Literally.
because
Jesus Christ.
it was raining, right?
Yeah.
On Sunday, which
Yeah.
was yesterday. So I
Yeah,
went
yeah.
to the mass, and I stayed like an extra 10 minutes afterwards, and they put the books away. So I went to the priest and I said, "Oh, where do the books live?" And he just looked at me like,
Do my eyes deceive
I think
me?
that's because you spoke English, so.
"No, well, it's an English-speaking sermon." So
Ah, okay.
that
right.
was the reason why. But he just.
Do my
Yeah.
eyes
And then I
deceive
just gave him
me?
the book, and then I just walked off.
Okay, yeah, because they left them out,
but
and they
I think
collected them.
the question, where does the book live? And it's a holy book.
It was too much.
And I gave it to him. I got my long hairs. I look a little, maybe.
He does look like Jesus.
A little bit.
Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
a modernized
Level with
Jesus.
us here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe a little
Modern
bit.
Jesus, yeah.
But I think
Mesus.
I kind of put him off a little bit. A Mesus.
Measles.
A Mises character.
Not measles. That would be a completely different thing.
But I've seen
yeah.
him once.
Yeah.
And you just sit-
yeah.
and what was your reaction to it? Did you?
He was glowing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long?
About a minute.
Wow.
Did he say anything to you?
No.
Yeah.
He just looked at me and walked to me.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
And I
Did you
told
take? Did you take a message from that?
I told my friends I've just seen Jesus, and they laughed. It was like, did I take a message from it?
Yeah.
No, because I carried on with the party.
Yeah, but
I-
long lasting.
I thought it was a hallucination, but actually
Yeah.
I don't think it was. I think it was him or something. That was the overwhelming love.
Yeah.
What comes to you, and it's just like,
In
stop,
these times.
Jack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know you're loved. You don't need to do
Yeah.
this for any other validation.
Kind of,
Yeah.
yeah. It was just a party time. I wish it was a lot of fun, but at the same time, I wish at the same time
No,
I went steadier, maybe.
I look
But,
back at those
yeah.
times now,
Yeah.
and
They made you the person
yeah.
you are today. You've
Exactly,
had to go
yeah.
through these experiences.
Indeed.
And that's a self-reflection because you've learned from that. You've gone, well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that again.
Well,
And that's the importance of self-reflection.
nowadays I know that when
Yeah.
I'm going out, I'm actually going out to see my friends.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm actually like, yeah, okay, I'll have a few drinks, but the main reason I'm there
That's
is
for
not
you.
for the drinks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's for
It's
you.
to
Yeah.
see my friends.
Yeah.
And when I know that maybe okay, I've had like it's enough drinking now, then I'll take a water or I'll go home.
Yeah.
I'll be like, I've had a really good night tonight. You can keep going. But
Yeah.
I know it's enough now.
That's enough now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's like with me is, I mean, you know me, Jack. I don't drink. I'll have the one beer at a special occasion.
You've had a beer with me once.
With one, yeah,
and
exactly.
that was
Beer
half
with you.
of my beer.
Yep, that's the half of yeah.
Funny.
That's generally how it goes.
how it was.
The most beer I've ever drunk in one night was
Tell us
this
from
was
Huddersfield is a
the-
cheap git. That's why. Oh yeah.
Huddersfield on tour, represent.
Yeah.
For more tips on how to save money, follow me on my money-saving Instagram. There isn't one. Anyway, but no, is with me is the most alcohol I've ever drunk in one night was about 3 weeks ago or something. I went out with one of the teachers from work, and I had 0.6 litres of alcohol. That is the most I've ever drunk in one night. I kid you not.
0.6.
0.6.
So a pint, basically.
Basically a pint. I've never in my life been drunk once. I've never come close to it, and I've never in my life done drugs either. And so I've been sober pretty well. I've always been sober, I guess. Well, okay, let's be realistic here. After teaching grammar for 12 hours, okay, my sobriety is questioned, or my mental state is questioned.
Mental state,
Sober
yeah.
drug.
But just to build on, the reason I'm saying this is because, you know, I've...
sober drug, actually.
Yeah, no. So I will say this as well, as I've also had the Jesus experience as well. I think twice. Did you say twice, or have you just the once? Once. For me, it was twice.
Once, but he hugged me.
Yeah.
On yesterday.
I
told you that, didn't I?
was it. Yeah, you did. You did. Yeah.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw him in my brain.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's is that the
you
third
felt
eye?
that love.
Yes.
Is that the third eye? Yeah.
I think that's the
what
third eye, yeah.
You go down and
categorise
then
it
you
as.
imagine him, or somehow. But it was more than imagination. Cause it was
That's the third eye.
you have to
as
ask
they
him.
say.
You have to ask him to come. Lovingly, I think, and just give you a hug.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah. There's a lot to say on that, actually, but for another time. But no, with that is.
I
just,
think there will be a part 2. Yes.
I think there's going to have to be. There's going to have to be.
Yeah. Tom.
But yeah, with that, we'll say my Jesus experience, for example.
Yeah.
So he's presented himself to me as well. However, gentlemen, you will have to cut this out. What I'm going to say, because this cannot go in. So now. The idol.
Yeah, they have
Yes,
to do.
yeah,
They have to
yeah.
do certain things to be able to. Kind of
Exactly.
like a guru.
Yeah,
Christianity
yeah.
is like the guru to
Exactly.
to Jesus' guide.
Yep.
And
we're back.
It'd be very funny if we had the video and it was just censored, but you could see.
That's what I was.
You could see Tom talking and doing all of his stuff, and then people are just like, "What is he saying?"
I might,
Pay extra for that.
I might edit it in a way where it's just like, you know, like the hay bale, like.
Then it comes back, and then
No.
Oh, but
We're at an hour and a half now. How are you feeling?
sounds good.
Yeah.
We can go for another half an hour,
I
right?
think we could do another half an hour.
Definitely
Yeah.
can. I need to wee. I can keep talking if you
Keep
want.
going,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
go on, yeah.
down.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I just come back up. But I'm.
I'll get my
So
notes out.
if you see Jack in the back, he's just going for a pee.
Is perfectly natural. Nothing unnatural about
Nothing
urine.
against- No,
Or as they say in some areas, urine.
you're right.
But
You're right about the urine.
You're right.
I forgot to mention, like, Phil, that iPhone 14 Pro.
are we doing a good advertisement for Apple today?
Yeah.
I'll
Paid
ta-
sponsors.
I'll tell you what. Let's.
We've got some more. There's some more topics here.
There's-
Jack, you've got some questions. I've got some more topics
I
if
have
you
lots of
want to
questions. We
speak
have
about
lots of
these
topics
ones.
as well.
Yeah.
It's actually 2 hours is not really enough.
No.
We would have to do it in several parts. I think this
Let's
could be
see.
part 1.
Yeah. Let's see.
I don't want to keep it on the mundane and the low vibration kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
let's keep it quite high. What do you think of? If I said truth to you, where would you go with that? So we'll play a word association game.
Yeah.
So if I said truth, what would be the first thing that comes into your brain? Which is not the DMT activated side,
Goodness.
but the sober side. I'm very.
sober side.
It's very interesting that you're sober.
And it's not because it's, you know, with this sobriety thing, with being sober, it's not like it's a virtue. It's not something I go out and say, look at me, I'm sober.
I would
just-
question you on a little bit about that.
Yeah, please.
And it might be more personal.
Yeah.
So we could cut this out. I don't know.
Go for it. Go for it.
Because we've talked about it.
Yeah.
We should mention the blind guy as well.
Yeah.
But I remember talking to you on the hill, and we did touch on the topic of pornography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cut this one out.
Yeah, I think we should cut this out too. But do you think it's like... I don't think you have a sober mind if you watch it.
That's an interesting point. I think
I think it is a drug.
yeah, I think it definitely can become or act as a drug. You can get addicted to it,
I think
definitely.
it's addictive, and I think people are addicted to it, and I
Yeah.
think it is a drug.
Yeah. I think for me is at the end of the day it's a visual aid, but the problem with it is some people take that as a literal aid and they incorporate that into their own relationships and things, and I think it can be a very destructive thing. However, I know there are websites that try to focus or try to put the passion in there, the love in there, the romance in there, and I think it's a lot more natural and a lot more,
You're still a voyeur to it, though.
Say again.
You're still a voyeur.
I suppose, yeah. Yes, you are.
You are a ghost witnessing what is happening. You're not really essentially you. You're not the being.
It's entertainment at the end of the day.
It is.
It's a form of entertainment,
But it's sad.
I think definitely. I think the portrayal of things in there is
watching too many films is also bad for your brain.
Yep, definitely. If it's to the point where it's affecting your life and it's changing your character and your personality and things like that, or it's making you violent when we'll say doing the act and stuff like that, then you're lost. Essentially, you've lost your touch with reality. Because I personally think is that with the ideas of relationships and other things, is that there's a lot more to them, and the things we don't get taught, things we have to learn. But in essence, I tend to be, or want to be at least, a very romantic person, very passionate in these things. It's about finding someone who allows me to express that and to be nice and be the gentleman and be the knight and things like that.
The valor.
The valor, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I'll pick up on 2 points of what you made. So there's the idea of we'll put the ideal man on top, so the virtuous human, the virtuous man.
Yeah.
And then the second question was about I can't really remember it. It's gone out of my brain.
Great question.
It's gone out of my brain.
I'm just thinking about Jack's biscuit.
Yeah, me too. It's not Jack's biscuit. It's actually your biscuit.
Is it?
Which Jack is eating.
Oh, the one biscuit.
The one biscuit that it had my name on it. That was it.
This is Tom's biscuit.
He took his thumbnail and carved TOM into the biscuit itself.
You told me before you came. This biscuit is Tom.
I remember.
It leads to spiritual enlightenment. Eat it well.
I remember the second question now. So the DMT expert. Jack, are you cheating? No, cheat. No.
Oh my God.
Like a Pokemon or a ball.
Is religion addictive? So that's the first question.
Extreme religion is
Everything
addictive. Everything's addictive, right?
Yeah.
Everything you have to have in
It's your
small
relationship
doses.
to it.
Yeah, exactly. Everything you do can be addictive.
Do you think porn's addictive?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What's your relationship towards porn?
Bad.
You know?
I don't have it anymore.
I've
cut it out. It
Yeah.
doesn't exist. And I actually think I'm a better human being for it. That's the Jesus.
Yeah, no,
that's the God thing where
yeah.
he's watching you, and then you've got your angel watching you, and everyone's just watching you.
But
do
is
this thing.
religion addictive? That's a good question.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I think in essence, especially extremist forms of religion is addictive. You look at some kind of minority communities in
example.
There's a lot of them. Okay, there's a lot of them. For example, there's extreme forms of Christianity.
And let's keep cults out of it.
We'll keep cults out of it. Okay, well, I suppose that's where we border on kind of when we get to the extreme religion kind of thing. We go into the cult side, don't we? So it's based upon a religion. Usually in the West it's Christianity, of course, or in the Middle East it's Islam, etc. But I'm sure there's extreme forms of Hinduism, and maybe, I could be speaking out of term here, maybe there's some kind of sect of Buddhism which kind of pushes the boundaries or whatever. But I think you can get addicted to it in the sense of, you can just kind of roll off these... Yeah, what do you think?
Well, there are people who follow the scripture.
Yeah.
To the word.
Yeah.
To the word. Absolute word.
I think that's it, and I think it's if you can't apply that if you can't change that for the situation that you need it in, for example, if.
But they believe that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And what about if they're not really pushing it?
Well, I suppose for them, if it's their own philosophy and it makes them a better person, that's what I'm about.
Yeah. Well, the idea of Christianity is it's not to have your own spiritual relationship with it. It's to be part of the community and then spread the community.
Follow the teachings of Jesus.
But it's difficult to spread the community without telling somebody about it.
Yeah. It is. It's difficult.
I'd be curious if those ideas are addictive and they give you the same.
Yeah.
I think it gives you
trigger
value.
reaction.
Yeah.
And then you attach your own personality to that.
Yeah, it's a good
And
point, Jack.
then that could end up being addictive, or that could be something that could be the only thing in your life that you feel worthy.
Yeah.
So like cocaine.
Makes you feel worthy. Like cocaine or like social media.
Social media.
Like
I suppose,
I'm only
yeah,
worthy because
yeah.
these people like my picture.
Exactly.
And then for the rest of my life, I'm just chasing to make a good social media post so that I can get those likes again. Same thing with like religion or being part of a community. You might never been a part of a community before.
Yeah.
And so therefore you feel worthy inside that community, even if it's the wrong thing.
I think it's, do you take that onto your person? Does that become a part of your personality then? I mean, we talked, Jack, about the ego mask, some philosophy I got through in one of these deep meditations.
Oh, we talked about Alan Watts too, didn't we?
Oh, we did, yeah. Before we did, I think it was, we talked about Alan Watts afterwards. But the ego mask is some philosophy which came through to me in one of these meditations. And it's this idea of that we, as people, we wear these masks, essentially, what we call the ego and stuff. And that's common knowledge. But it's the conceptualization of the mask. And everyone kind of, who they think they are, who they think they believe themselves to be, it all gets put into this mask form. And my question is, for example, you can label me whatever you want, English teacher, Yorkshireman, part-time philosopher, something like this. But if I take off that mask, what's left on the inside? And this was the philosophy that was given to me, is they said...
Your brain.
Your brain, but you're also, for example... Yeah, go on.
Here's the thing. This is the idea of it. It's like you've never seen my heart.
Yeah.
But I have one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't have to. You don't have to see it to believe it.
No.
But I find that a very deeply hard question to answer.
Yeah.
I think it's hard.
Yeah.
It might almost be bordering on a stupid question, but it's.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
It's kind of like, is religion addictive? Yes.
No, but the what about who are you if you take off the mask?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I find that very difficult.
And that's why I think it's important to...
Okay, no, that's not a stupid question.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about my question.
Bad, Tom, bad.
Well, it is.
No, but like, who are you underneath the mask? Yeah.
This is the important. This is why I emphasise looking inward, because we all look outward and we all take these things from this external point of view, and they all become a part of this kind of mask, and they all become these labels or these parts of our character. But if something overwhelms my character, for example, if I become a priest, for example, and that's the only thing I can do, it's the only thing I'm good at. My entire persona is a priest. But if I had an experience where I took that mask off, I have a different experience, which makes me challenge my beliefs, and it essentially rips that mask off. What have you got left on the inside? And for me, this came through because I know on the inside I've got my philosophy, I've got my beliefs, which I continue to challenge, but I've got something complete on the inside, or at least I feel I've got something whole. I know some other people, when they get challenged, is they're left feeling completely empty. And that's, again, with my philosophies, it's about making sure to look inward as well.
It's ideology.
Yeah, it's ideology.
Most of the time, it's just ideology, or it's pushed fabrication.
And it's all coming from the external.
So you're saying then that when people are challenged with the question of who are you really, they look to the external things.
Generally, I think they look
and
at
if they're being challenged to look at the inward, they feel empty.
Yeah, if you take it, sorry, Jack, if you take away the labels of what you've been shaped to be, for example, and you're essentially, if you're put in a room by yourself with no human contact, or it's a blank white room, you have no phone, no contact to the outside world, you have none of these labels in which to act upon. Who's on the inside? And I guarantee you, 99% of people will have nothing in there, and they'll question themselves and go, well, who am I then? What is my purpose? And I think it's one quote I was given in a meditation. This was must be 5 or 6 years ago. Is that when you reach kind of the lowest point in your life, or the depths of despair, is that it's in this in which the desire for change is set alight. And I think when you get so low, when you've had everything taken from you or something, or when you've had a really hard point in your life, you feel completely empty. But it's within that void that you are willing to change. You're willing to find anything that will make you feel better. And I personally think it's important to keep that inward and then to ask the questions about who you are and build yourself up from the inward point of view, because I think this what happens to all of us. We all get stripped of these things.
Yeah, at some stage.
Exactly. We do. It makes us grow, but I think a lot of people then put that into some kind of newfound. It could be a cult, a sect. It could be an
like
object. It could
New
be a
Age
hobby.
spiritualism.
Could be an object or a
yes,
hobby, yeah.
New Age spiritual. It could be all sorts of different things.
This links to consumerism with what you were talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah,
How
yeah.
people need these things to become a better person.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. So that's a big thing for me. Is again, I cannot emphasize enough with my philosophy is looking inward.
I really appreciate the answer you just gave there. Like, that was
Yeah.
very good. I'm really happy I recorded that. Like,
Thank
that's
you.
gonna be nice.
Have you ever been in the presence of
God.
someone who is hollow?
Yes. Yeah. And it's usually the hollow ones that ask for advice.
Yeah.
And that's when I try to challenge them in a nice way, and I challenge them by asking them, who are you on the inside?
Because they don't challenge themselves,
exactly,
probably.
exactly.
You
They-
notice,
yeah,
you can
yeah.
tell. Yeah.
Exactly, that's right.
Sometimes.
That's right.
Have you ever met someone who is full?
Yes, and but they live that, and I know that's what the Taoists talk about. It's being able to empty yourself completely, and by doing so, by being empty, is you're essentially full of just
Opportunity,
nature, the oneness, or whatever it is, possibility, these kind of things, and they emanate that through their actions. It comes out of them.
I
They
agree.
live and breathe it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I've seen
Yeah.
it, and there are some extremely good teachers who are like this. And I'm on about like normal teachers in school as well who are like this, and kids can see that and they want to be near the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been around someone who's full of hollowness?
Like within this void. Or you mean full of them, like they act as if they're full, but on the inside they're completely empty.
I would say that. I mean that's almost like a contradiction, but they're so
That means are they just
Empty.
empty?
yeah, but they're hollow, but somehow they've managed to fill themselves up with hollow.
But do they when they
Like-
present that, is it like going back to this thing of the ego mask? Is that on the outside they look completely full, but really on the
Deep
inside
down,
there's nothing left.
Maybe possibly.
Yeah, I think that applies to the majority of people in some way, shape, or form. I think a lot of us perform.
Performance, yeah.
Perform, exactly. We put that mask on in the morning, that who we are. Well, I'm this person. I'm Tom. I'm from Yorkshire. I speak this way. I do this. I'm a teacher and whatever. We put that on to meet the day, and then we interact with people based upon these parts that belong to our mask or our ego.
I mean,
Perhaps.
I think you could look at there, right? I mean, I think who you really are is when no one else is looking.
Yeah.
And I think
yeah,
there's that
exactly.
old Tao saying
Exactly,
of like, so
yeah.
this person who's full of hollowness, it's like the old Tao saying, those who speak, or no, those who can do, those who speak can't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
or something like that.
yeah.
Or those.
No,
Yeah,
I think that's right.
Those
Jack.
who
I think
do
that's right.
don't
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
Those who speak can't do.
Yeah, that's it.
There's another one where
Yeah.
it's like the
And that's what I try and challenge myself on. I'm like,
Yeah.
if I'm filming or I'm working on something, am I just sharing that? You know what I mean? Or like maybe I'll keep that to myself because it's more important of
Yeah.
how I feel about it.
Well, that's what Marcus Aurelius talks about, doesn't he? I think it's, I think it was him. One of the Stoic quotes is, "Stop telling yourself what a good man should be and be one.
Yeah.
Take action."
Yeah, take
that's
action,
it.
yeah.
You know when you're not the best version of yourself.
Yeah, and
You know
that's
it,
it.
and you're not.
Yeah.
It's even worse when you
Yeah.
don't act on it, because then you're still not becoming the best.
Because
If
you know there's a hard
yeah.
question in there, but you don't want to ask
And
yourself
if you did it, and it's like
Reflect upon it, learn from it,
would-
act upon
Yeah,
it.
you
Yeah.
take an
Yeah.
example of cleaning the house would be a good one. You don't
Yeah.
want to do it. Nobody really likes cleaning the house.
No.
It's nice to do it actually when you're doing it,
Yeah,
and you have to see that.
but you see a bit of dirt,
Yeah,
and
then,
then
and then
you
when-
won't tackle it.
Yeah, but when
Yeah,
it's finished,
yeah.
you know
Yeah.
that you've become the best version that you possibly can be because you've tackled it.
Yeah, exactly.
You've gone through.
Yeah.
You've gone through the mirage of whatever was, and now.
Or there's like a
it's
shelf
become
that needs
physical
repairing
reality.
or something like that, or something
Yeah.
that needs repairing in the house,
Yeah.
or the door is a bit. But you don't do it.
There is a list of things what need to be done.
Yeah.
Normally.
But usually,
The list is
but
huge.
I think those things can weigh on you
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can.
mentally,
They
Yes.
can.
Yeah.
and I think that's the same thing with inward.
They can.
Yeah.
You know,
Big
like
style.
You got to take responsibility with these things because
Yeah.
it will pile up and it will put the pressure on you, and you'll get to a point where it just it lets go and it crumbles.
I know a
It
good
comes
quote
coming down,
by
tumbling down.
Augustine.
All right.
Yeah.
I put it on Facebook actually. The truth is like a lion.
Oh yeah, when it's released,
Yeah.
it
When
can't
it's-
be stopped or
yeah,
something
exactly,
like that.
yeah. If you let it go,
Yeah.
it can't be stopped.
Yeah.
There's no.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry because when you let it go, it just can't be stopped.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's no worry about the truth. Just let it out because it's true.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
At the end of the day, it's true. Yeah.
That's it. I think going back to what you said earlier on, Jack, about what is truth, because I think these days, especially with the new age spiritualism kind of thing, is we talk about having your truth, and
I don't get that.
No, I have an issue.
I keep hearing the same thing. I keep.
He's
hearing
speaking his truth.
His truth.
I've
I
heard
it on
that.
podcasts.
The truth.
Yeah, I've heard it in some of my friends as well, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I've tackled that too because I find that it's a way for people to justify whatever they want.
It's a way of
That's
shaming
it.
people.
It's a way of shaming people.
Yeah.
I'm being the person who likes to do it.
Yeah.
This is my truth. This is how I.
This
see
is
it.
my
I'm just-
truth. I
No,
don't
no.
think these people should be doing this.
I'm just like, shut up.
Yeah.
But continue what you're saying there, Tom. About
No, yeah,
this day.
it's. I mean,
These
this
days.
is the thing is as well. It's difficult to define as well what's true because you know me. I like to write a lot of papers on different things. So I wrote a lot about. I wrote a lot during the pandemic on how the government's dealt with things, and I'm no way near qualified to do this, but I do take an interest in writing these things. But some of the evidence a lot of the evidence I uncovered asked the questions that needed to be asked, and I presented this to doctors. And I presented this to other people.
Ah, yeah. You
And
also told me, sorry,
yeah.
I cut you off, but you also told me an interesting one, which you might want to talk about as well, about the diet with the
diet, yeah,
with the doctors.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry.
if we can, we'll go into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's it. So I like to write a lot of papers about these. They call them wedge issues. So these big issues at the
wedge
moment.
issues, yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. Yeah. And the thing is with the truth is it's easy to manipulate. It's easy to spin. So, for example, one of the doctors I was speaking to is we're talking about medical journals, and he says the problem from big kind of companies and so on, because science itself or medicine as well, this applies to that, is there's the method, and then there's the institution, and the institution of say science has its problems. The method of science, wanting to learn more about the universe and life and everything, wanting to test these things, is pretty pure, whereas the institution, on the other hand, is where you get financial involvement
red
and
tapes,
stuff.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've had this confirmed from doctors and other people I've spoken to about certain things.
Just so the audience know, Tom talks to doctors because he teaches them English.
Yes.
Yes.
I get to meet a lot of different people, lawyers, doctors, oh my God, you
Yeah.
name it. Yeah, ex-soldiers and all sorts of things, and I like to kind of speak to them and ask them these things as much as possible about their lives and their experiences, because it teaches me to be a better person and what they think, a qualified professional in this field, what do they think about that? Or let me ask them a question that they've probably not been asked before. Very much like the interview podcast kind of situation. But the evidence I found in there challenged a lot of mainstream stuff, that's all we'll say. And the problem is
Example.
I can't say it. I can't say that. People will kill me on this one, especially in this country.
Really?
Sorry, Austrians. Yeah, sorry, Viennese. But yeah, no, I'm not. I won't say it specifically. But
No, tell us
you
just
you know what it is. Jack, you know what it is. But
I know what it is.
I won't go into this, though. It's been and gone now. It's done with. However, but finding out the truth in there, yeah.
kind of.
I tried to mime it to Jack.
mouth it.
Jack's just like, no, I want to listen. Just
It's ice cream, everybody.
You got me.
He's talking about ice cream.
It was it's Kinder Bueno flavored ice cream.
Yeah.
I'm addicted.
Ferrero Rocher is the
Ferrero
better
Rocher
kind.
ice cream. This is welcome to Ice Creams Anonymous with Tom and your host Jack and Jack.
Check.
I put on 10 kilograms after eating ice cream. Sorry.
My poo hasn't been the same since.
It's been liquid the whole time.
Oh, speaking about poos, do you know that Jack calls the toilet the Jack?
The Jacks.
Yeah, the
There you
Jacks.
go, the
Yeah.
Jacks.
And we English people call it the John. Isn't that
Yeah.
interesting? And Jack is a derivative of John, so it's kind of like
So it's
There
kind
you
of
go.
same. It's the
kind of
exact same.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just a bit of a topical info for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom. we cut
General
you-
knowledge.
Yeah, we
General
cut you-
knowledge corner.
Ice creams and toilets.
Ooh.
Just how I like them.
I know.
No, but that's it. It's uncovering these kind of facts within this academic world. I think it's difficult to define what the truth is because, we have scientists or people that write things like linguists. I've written stuff for dialects, and that's one of my passions and things. And, I do my research, I find this evidence, and I try to keep it as balanced as possible. But my account of something, using evidence and other papers, will not necessarily be the same as somebody else's account of things, even though my research is based on studies and their research is also based on studies, and they conflict with each other. And I think it's really difficult when we talk about academic truth is it's we have like this innate truth. I think we have the spiritual truth that each person has, and we have this kind of what's the word?
Spiritual truth. What do you mean?
For example, so when you
and
have
innate
your
truth as well. So
or like natural truth.
Are you saying that this is a table, so that is a truth? Or are you saying that we know when people lie?
I suppose so. Yeah, I suppose. Yes, I guess. Yeah, this, or at least is in the form of a table. Therefore, it's a table.
So perspective
being used as a table.
Exactly.
Though,
exactly.
Well, I mean, the argument to that is that it needs at least two people to agree upon that it's a table.
And that's interesting. Yeah, and that's interesting. I know
You're
Alan
talking
Watts.
about Alan Watts. You're talking about what is reality.
One is perspective. One is reality. Yeah.
Consciousness needs to be.
Yep.
It has to be some kind of. There has to be agreement upon it.
Yeah.
But what's your problem with people saying
I think
you're true?
That's
or
it.
they're true.
I think it's perspective, and
I think it's perspective.
It's
yeah.
perspective,
I don't think you can take that away, really.
Yeah.
Though, can you?
No, and we shouldn't.
You can't really take that away from anyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you've had these experiences and you live by them and they've made you a better person or whatever, then that's important because we should all have these experiences. We should talk about them. Like me and my experiences, for example. Theoretically, this is my truth, essentially. Yeah. To me, it is
they've had
the
traumas.
Truth. Exactly. Traumas
can
and all
also.
sorts of things.
I don't want to do that thing because
Yeah.
of my truth or something, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And also, they don't want to go further into
Wouldn't
that.
it just be better to say I don't want to do that because of the experiences I've had in my life?
Of course.
Instead of like,
of course, but like
overextending towards.
But I think there's personal truth and academic truth.
Okay.
And the academic truth is the thing that's very difficult to always quantify. I mean, obviously, if you take a pen and you hold it up and you say this pen will drop, you let it go and it drops. And that's a fact. Mm-hmm. You can't dispute that. You can't dispute that truth.
No.
But when we have things like I mentioned, like writing articles on certain things, each person has their own perspectives. You've got different journals and things, different references and sources. It's trying to present that in a way that kind of suits you. But in my opinion, it's trying to present that in an unbiased way. But he says it's a good thing. She says it's a bad thing, for example. And in the academic world, unless it's categorical, pen will fall. Yep, unless it's anti-gravity or something.
Yeah, you're in an anti-gravity field.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a fact. But I think with personal stuff, that's where the lines blur. So like with the spiritual truths and stuff, it's like these are my truths, or for me, this is the truth. This is what I've experienced. But I don't mind if nobody believes that.
Well, what is the religious?
I think a lot of people have a problem with that too, though.
Yeah.
Because I think nowadays when people see online that like somebody's doing something, people get so offended. But why can't you just say that's not for me and then just let that off?
Exactly.
But people will get like really offended. But it's just like chill. Like
Mike Tyson had a very good opinion on that.
Go on.
He said that we are in the social media world. We are so attuned to being assholes.
Yeah.
That there is no full consequence for it.
There's no full consequence. Yeah.
So,
whereas in the real world, you get
somebody,
smacked in the face.
Somebody would punch you in the face.
Yeah.
If you said that to Mike Tyson, I mean, just
it's
imagine.
What's it called? Oh my goodness!
Imagine
being
calling
anonymous.
Mike Tyson a
keyboard
pussy.
warrior. Yeah.
Calling him a pussy.
Yeah.
To his
Into his
face.
face.
He'd probably laugh.
You wouldn't have many teeth left.
No, but he'd probably laugh.
But you could say something worse and he'd definitely hit you.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
They'll
knock
living bells out of you.
Yes.
Yeah,
but you can call him a pussy on YouTube.
Or no, just anybody in the real world. You know, if you intentionally crash your car into someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're really going to be pissed off.
There was a guy who
intentionally
intentionally crashed a plane.
Exactly, just for views. And now he's going to prison.
Yes.
He's going to prison for 20 years.
Intentionally did it.
And he pled guilty, and he should be going to jail for 20 years.
Good.
It's
he put his life in danger and maybe other people's lives.
That just shows you that he was so not in tune with the real world.
Yeah.
He was
detached from reality.
He was detached from reality that he thought that he could do that.
Yeah.
He thought he was allowed to do that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's
You would
really
think
weird.
That you're allowed to do that.
Like that could have landed on
plane.
someone's family home.
That's
Exactly.
the narcissism.
I'm sure he put it in a
Yeah.
place where it's not going to land on anybody, but still,
Still, to crash a plane for what, views?
for views.
For views? I've
For
not seen
TikTok
the video,
views, yeah.
but for
I haven't
TikTok
seen the
views,
video.
It was in the
it's
news.
shocking,
It was a
really.
big news story.
It
And
was
that's
just-
that outward kind of, looking for this outward affirmation and all
Yeah,
of these
yeah, yeah.
things. Just taking it out there. But just want to say, being anonymous on the internet, or anonymity is the I think the biggest problem, because you can make any username you want. You can go onto YouTube comments and stuff and write lots of hateful things. And
Well, there's lots of trolls as well.
there's lots of trolls.
There's also lots of
definitely.
bots.
There are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which has been that was a massive problem with Twitter, wasn't it?
Yeah,
With
Twitter
Musk, it
bots
was one. Yeah, you had
and
to
so
get
on.
rid of a ridiculous amount of bots.
But
You
there
also-
is, but you're
Yeah.
right. There's no consequence.
There's no consequences. No, not at all. Not at all. And I think we've lost part of ourselves in the social media age, especially through the pandemic with us being locked down and things. Is we've lost that connection with each other.
Yeah.
And we've got this. People are angrier now, especially here in Vienna.
Yeah,
Vienna
people
has a
are
reputation
For
for
being angry, yeah.
Moody.
being moody and so on. At least to non-natives. All right. Sorry.
But that's why
Viennese.
we
yeah.
I mean I try and share a smile with people when I'm
Yeah.
on the street every
Yeah.
time.
Exactly.
The
exactly.
Viennese
Like-
schmee.
Yeah, it's just like this droll. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a Hans Zimmer
Schmee.
song.
Yeah.
No,
This drone. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Drone tone.
but no, yeah. I
Yeah.
think you're right there, Tom. Yeah, I think you have a good point there. Yeah.
No, being held accountable is important.
And there isn't enough of that.
Not at all. Being, do what you want to, as long as you can be comfortable that you can be held accountable for what you've done. And in my opinion, do it as long as you're doing the best things to be the best person of your ability. That's where I come from. But of
Yeah.
course, there are people on the opposite side of the spectrum that want to do the negative side. Serial killers, etc.
How
And
do you,
so on.
how do you stand on? I know I cut you off. But
Yeah.
How do you stand on people who say, "Do what you want to do,
Again,
live the best life you want to live"?
Yeah, it's all about how you go about it, in my opinion.
As long as you're not harming anyone.
Exactly. As long as
Well,
for
good
me,
riddance. Like
exactly, good riddance.
there's
Yeah,
no problem.
Yeah,
Like go off
Yeah.
with it, do it.
I find it quite
Yeah.
harmful.
yeah,
What people doing, whatever, because it's individualistic.
Yeah, but I find it
Mm.
harmful to say that go off and do what you want to do, because
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
simply just go off and steal somebody's cat and
But-
just do
But
whatever.
then
that-
you are
that's it.
harming
Yeah.
someone.
I know.
yeah.
So don't do that.
I know, but
But that's what I would say. Go do
Yeah.
what you want to do, but don't harm
Yeah.
anybody.
all right.
I mean,
you know?
it's all about, will it make you a better person? I mean, for me, is do what you want to do, as long as at the end of the day is you're comfortable with the decisions you make and it makes you a better person. in
And
the
does it
long
challenge you along the way?
run. Yeah, exactly.
I think that's one
Yeah,
of the most important
yeah.
things, because if you're not challenging
Yeah.
yourself along the way, you're not learning anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, 100%.
You know?
Yeah.
And so if someone's like, oh yeah, I'm going to use all my dad's money to do this thing, and
Yeah.
it's not really going to,
Yeah.
I don't need to do
Morality.
anything.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
I'll take that as an example then. What about
Mm.
if somebody, if your dad said, "All right, do whatever you want to do," and
Mm.
he's letting you do that, and so the parent figure is letting you do that. When you're saying, "Do whatever you want to do,"
That's not going to, that's
have
not
10
going to
ice
help them.
creams.
Yeah.
Do whatever
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
do. Have this, have that, have whatever
Mhm.
you want to have. I mean, it does actually make people grow up and think that they can drive aeroplanes. and crash them.
Entitled and all of these
Entitled,
things.
yeah.
But
Entitlement is a
Entitled, yeah.
strange
Yeah.
topic.
I think that's where self-discipline comes in, though. It's
Yeah.
knowing the right and wrong of things. And this is why I like to present a set of morals, or it's like the Ten Commandments in the Bible. I think something that we should be living by as people in general, because we're in a void at the moment of religion. Is we're no longer these heavily religious people that we were in the past, and we went to church every Sunday and we followed these doctrines and all of these things. Is we're currently entering like this process where we're in a bit of a void.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are left feeling empty because they've got no structure in life.
The God hole.
The God hole. As we talked about
Ah,
this
the
yesterday,
hole-
not the God hole,
Hole?
the God hole.
Hole,
Yeah,
yeah.
the hole.
The gap it's
The
left.
gap. The God gap.
The God gap.
That's it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Tom thought I said whole as in
And
to be whole.
To be whole. Yeah,
To be
that's
whole in
it.
God.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
well,
And then there's holy as well. Oh my
I
goodness.
suppose they all work actually in
Yeah.
a sense.
No, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we're kind of in
Yeah.
this process now of going from believing in something and believing
Yeah.
that this is the way, the structure, and
Yeah.
now we're just left to our own devices,
That's
and we're
it.
told
That's it.
the way we have value is to
Do whatever you want. to
do whatever we want, be individualistic,
Find yourself.
be
yeah.
more, be
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important that we have like a set of morals which we mostly agree upon, because I think there are certain things which
Yeah.
we can all agree upon, like don't kill someone.
Would you call that a religious truth?
No, I think it's
I'd call it a
morality.
set of morals or philosophies or something.
But
It's
where
like
do
a
they come
set of-
from? This is the question about morality.
Yeah.
You can't have a structured society that's...
But morality is following a group of ethics.
This is what
Yeah.
atheists say,
Yeah.
though. They say that
So-
you're born with the group of ethics. You are born with the moralities within you.
Yeah.
And you
know not to kill someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the idea is that the structure is grown, but I don't think that's true. I think you actually need spiritual people around to say
Yeah.
that this is good, this is evil, there are in-betweens,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and this is the code of ethics that you should live your life by.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
I don't think that's
as well.
innate in us, actually.
No.
I'm not too sure if that's innate.
I mean, look at the way children behave with each other.
Yeah.
Children will quite happily come and take something out of your hand or
and
throw it on the floor, smash a window.
It's like
and-
you have
and
to
so on.
Statistically,
Stop.
2-year-olds are the most dangerous human beings
Is that right? Oh my goodness.
because they hit, they
surprised.
bite, they have no empathy
Yeah.
for like.
Really?
I mean, a lot of the time, but
Oh my
like
God.
they're actually statistically the most dangerous,
Yeah.
Violent as
the
well.
most violent
Violent.
2-year-olds.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
it. Is we're molding.
But is that not
mold
moulding?
people,
Yeah, exactly. Is that
into,
not- is
into
that
the
learning?
society? Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's about kind of molding people into what I think we should be. We should be critical thinkers. We should be reflective. You can go as deep or as shallow as you want into that topic. But
Can I step back a
please,
little bit
yeah.
and go back onto the topic where you were talking about the academic discipline?
yeah,
And I'm going to touch on a question I asked you before the podcast. Was
Yeah.
why do you think academics were more respected
yeah.
in the past?
I
As opposed to
personally-
today.
Yeah, I think it's because in the past you had to.
Is
These
it-
days, it's easy to go to university.
Is it because everyone has a degree?
Everyone has a degree these days, so it takes away the value of having the bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
For example, so my granddad, who was on my mum's side, he was born in 1914, and he died 6 months before his 100th birthday. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
However, he was very clever with maths. And he basically, when he was, 12 or something, the teachers taught him all he could do, all they knew about maths. So it got to the point where he would be allowed to skip the maths lessons, and they used to have him doing odd jobs. So like once he went to replace a window pane and these kind of things, getting footballs off the roof and stuff. But he was, yeah, I know, he used to do all these odd jobs and stuff. But he was very talented at maths, and the university wanted to basically not sign him on, but they wanted him to go to university, and they came for the interview, and he had the aptitude for it, he had the intelligence for it to go and do maths and engineering. Excuse me, but the problem is that my great grandparents they had 7 children, I think, and they couldn't afford the books and the gowns and all of these little things. They couldn't afford to send him to university.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, he had to miss out on that opportunity. But he was very gifted academically. Whereas in contrast these days is, in England, as long as you get your A-levels and as long as you get a bank loan, you can go to university.
It makes me angry.
Yeah, it's no longer based on academic achievement.
The
and
opportunity's
aptitude
there,
anymore.
I understand. It's
Yeah.
opportunity for everyone.
There should be opportunity for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Exactly,
But
it makes sense.
Some people shouldn't go.
Yeah.
But then there should be more emphasis on scholarships and
Exactly,
earning
yeah.
your way
There
in.
should be more emphasis on
definitely.
apprenticeships.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's another thing
there
I
should be
agree with
more
as
of it.
well.
Learning
Yeah.
skills from the skilled person.
And
Yeah,
taking
definitely.
3-4 years out of your life to
Yes.
learn
Yes.
and
yeah.
to challenge yourself and to do to practically learn. you
Become a master of your craft,
Well,
perfect yourself.
There is a
you
fun
know.
topic on that, which is traditionally kids would start at 7 to learn a craft.
Interesting.
You'd start at 7,
know. Mad, yeah.
and then by 7
15,
years,
yeah.
7 years later, 8 years later, you're 15 and you know a craft.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
You can be a carpenter if you want to, and you're 15.
But this is like the guilds of like London, kind of.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this,
that's
this,
it.
This,
That's it. Yeah.
There are positives and negatives with this. Some people will call that child labour.
Yeah.
I can get that, but I see the skill level in that.
I don't think it needs
Yeah.
to be 7, not this day and age. Like, I mean, this, like, especially boys at 7-year-old are still babies.
But that's it. You've got
You
to
know,
make him,
like-
make him into a man.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
the
but that,
idea.
yeah, but
Yeah.
not at 7, man. Like, I don't.
Well, we would die at 30, wouldn't we? So
Yeah.
We don't anymore, though.
I know.
In a historical context, but I think the current apprenticeship scheme at the age of 16, like I think that's a
16
good.
is, yeah.
Maybe, you know,
A 14 should be.
14. I mean, that's what.
There's some boys who just don't want to do it, do they?
I mean, I know my grandparents. I think they left school when they were 14 or
14.
something, and that was the school leaving age, and then they went into a job and stayed in that job mostly for the rest of their lives.
But that does hinge
yeah.
opportunity later on.
Yeah,
in
God,
life,
yeah, exactly.
You know?
It doesn't allow you
because
to
like a
progress.
child might want to,
Yeah.
Well,
sure, get your
develop
apprenticeship,
themselves.
but also be like,
Yeah.
actually, you know what, I want to be a lawyer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
exactly,
it oozes opportunity.
exactly.
It's like you know a skill. You can.
Yeah.
You could actually pay your way to be a lawyer.
Exactly.
It's
That's what
kind-
I'm saying. Yeah,
it's kind
that
of-
could be the better way to do it.
It has a dynamic. Of
And
its
also,
own.
they've learned how to learn.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's important that we all have skills as people. I think we express our, you know, being a human in this life, or whether you believe in many lives, whether you don't, just being a human here on this planet, I think it's an important outlet to have. Is learning a skill, learning a musical instrument or painting or some kind of thing like this, finding that hobby, but something that allows you, or that craft that allows you to progress,
Yeah.
with it allows you to develop.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's a
because
big-
that'll go in all aspects of life.
Exactly. For the rest of your life, you can get better and better. Some days you'll be worse. Some days it's as if, for example, with me playing the piano, some days you can never play,
Yeah.
for example. But other days you'll be phenomenal, and you record this stuff and you go, wow, you know, just with practice and just by perseverance and trying
Exactly.
to master this craft.
And you gain more.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
gain more. It builds me up into a better person. At least that's what I would say.
I like the end of this.
Yeah.
I think that's a great place to end.
Yeah.
Actually, we don't have much time, and
That's fine.
we have to kind of
Time's
set
up.
the studio down as well.
Yeah, I need to leave it too. Anyway.
So
That's
So,
it.
yeah.
But, yeah.
I would like you to talk about the blind man before we finish, though,
Yeah.
because I think this is a good, also an excellent end. And
Okay.
it ends on this topic of
Yeah.
it just.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like an adventure,
Yeah.
learning a skill. At the same time, you have to be it's a guide as well.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. I think you should tell the story of the blind
Yeah,
man.
I will. And I can tie something in with my grandma who went blind as well, because I'd learnt a valuable lesson from her. So there's me and Jack were up on this hill.
That's this Jack, not
This Jack.
Jack won.
Jack 1. Not Jack A. Jack 1. Not Biscuit Jack.
One day, Jack, we'll
One
go
day,
together.
one day will be.
Biscuit Jack.
You will go up.
I think we should call him Biscuit
I want to
Jack.
join you on this hill one day.
Biscuit Jack, that's brilliant. Anyway, so it's two sets of hills. It's up near an area called the Tiergarten in Vienna on the west side. And up there's just a couple of benches, and you get this phenomenal overview of Vienna, the skyline and everything. And there's a man who is blind, and he walks up there with a dog and a stick. He's blind. He's completely blind. And I've seen him when me and Jack went. This was the third time I'd seen him.
Yeah.
But I've seen him, so in the almost 5 years I've been here, I've seen him 3 times. I've been up to this hill. So just the
We were talking
The
about
concept,
we
yeah.
were talking about apostles. Even at this time, I remember I was asking Tom, it's like, what does it mean to be one, and what does it mean to like go into that kind of consciousness,
Yeah.
this Christ consciousness?
Yeah.
And then we saw this guy, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, and navigated his own way up through that, because there's little woods, there's little what do they call them? Hedges, and there's a name from anyway. It's irrelevant.
Dirt
but
roads.
Yeah,
A bush.
bushes and little begins with S. It's irrelevant. There's
Yeah,
these
it's irrelevant,
little patches of trees and stuff that you have to walk through,
Yeah.
essentially. And he can navigate those and so on. Whether that's because he'd been doing that all his life and he knew the path, but either way is he navigates in his own way up these 2 really steep hills where there isn't a footpath, by the way. There is no clear footpath.
Oh.
There's just a couple of little areas you can go through the wooded area, but up the hill there's no footpath. And he gets himself all the way up to the top of the hill, goes round this other little wood, and then goes back down again.
It
and
was
stuff.
a sign.
Yeah, it was very interesting what we're talking about. Yeah, but to tie into that is
Before you talk about your grandma, at the
Yeah.
end, you also said that the other 2 times he had no dog.
Exactly. The other couple of times he came up there, he had no dog
He
and
was
just
blind.
a stick.
Yeah.
Just from
Up
memory.
these-
Yeah.
It could well be from memory or whatever it was, but he's been up there, and I think he does it frequently as well. It may be a weekly thing or even a daily thing, I don't know.
It could be doing
Probably weekly is more realistic, but either way, is he goes up there by himself, he's blind, he's got the full glasses on and everything. And
The real deal.
Yeah, the real deal. And he's got his stick And that's it. He takes a rucksack with him, and that's it. And of course, he does make mistakes, but he gets there.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal,
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was like, it was...
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's it. And to finish on my side, so my grandma went blind later in life, towards the end of her life, kind of last, I think 6 to 8 years or so. And she ended up going into a care home, but like I said, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents, so I used to go down there very often. And one thing that was very interesting that I kind of realised from this is when she was in the care home, is there were all these nurses that came in of different skin colours, different creeds, different whatevers, backgrounds, beliefs and stuff. But not once did my grandma ever care or discriminate against these things because she was blind. She couldn't see these physical things. And the lesson that I pull from that is that she judged people on the content of the character.
Indeed.
And not on the quality of their appearance and the skin colour,
The
etc.
grace within.
Exactly. And I think
I think a lot of
important.
people could deal with that lesson.
Yeah, definitely. Especially these days. Judge people on the quality and the content of the characters and not the appearance.
And not their appearance, no. And what the outside is.
Yeah, I think we should end on that. That's a good ending.
It's a good ending, yeah.
Judge them on the grace within, the quality of the characters. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I have been Jack. This has been Jack.
I've been
this
Jack.
This has been Tom.
Thank you for having me on.
I would love to continue this conversation, but we are quite bound by time.
Yes.
Yeah, and there might be a part 2, so let's go for a part 2.
Let's see how this goes, and I look forward to releasing it.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Jack. Or Tom.
Yeah.
Everyone's called Jack.
Everyone. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone.
Thanks, Jack.
We're
Tom,
all
Tom.
Jack. Spartacus.
Tom, Jack.
Spartacus.
Spartacus.
Okay.
But seriously, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you want to. Give us a like. Give us a comment as well. We'd like to know about the content and what you think. It's brand new right now. It's brand new. It's sparkling. It's sparkling new.
And this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it. We got palm trees in the background. We've even got a kitchen sink.
Maybe next time I get my own camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should get a Jack cam. We could get.
Yeah.
We should call it Biscuit Jack cam.
Biscuit Jack.
Biscuit cam.
Biscuit cam.
Biscuit cam.
Oh, it alternates between you, Jack, and the biscuits over there.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Thank you very much for watching. And say goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a good one. Bye bye.